College baseball is back here in 2024. It is opening day for the Shriners Children's College Showdown, the third and final game of this opening slate. And up next, it is quite the matchup. SEC versus the Big 12. Two teams ranked in the preseason top 25. The 9th-ranked Tennessee Volunteers facing off against the 21st-ranked Texas Tech Red Raiders. Coming to you from Globe Life Field, Brant Freeman alongside Ty Harrington. And again, Ty, what a way to jumpstart a brand new year of college baseball.
It's been unbelievable. I mean, the teams today have been unbelievable. The games have been great. And then to get to follow it up tonight with Texas Tech and Tennessee is going to be exciting.
Well, let's talk more about the Tennessee Volunteers. They've been one of the game's premier programs under the direction of Tony Vitello, who's done a magnificent job in Knoxville.
Yeah, a lot of homers and a lot of energy comes out of that dugout.
Over 150 wins over the past 3 years for this team that made a return trip to Omaha this past year for the second time over the past 3 seasons. 44 wins last year as we now look at the Volunteers batting order. And tonight's lineup is brought to you by Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere. Top third of the order, Hunter Inslee, Blake Berg, and Christian Moore. Middle part of the order, Cannon Peebles, the newcomer Billy Amick, Dylan Dreiling, and the bottom third for Coach Vitello, Robin Villeneuve, Kavares Tears, and Bradkey Laurie. And facing off against this potent Volunteer lineup is the big right-hander, 6'6", 210 pounds, Kyle Robinson for Texas Tech. You look at the numbers for Robinson last year, more than 45 innings of work, ERA of 5.36. This is his 30th appearance as a member of the Red Raider program. And he gets the opening day start today for Texas Tech. Into the box, Hunter Inslee, and off we go from Arlington. This game of the season with these two teams underway.
I'll tell you what, Brant, you draw up what you want your pitchers to look like. They're standing out there right now. 6'6", 6'5". I mean, that's create some angle and some length and some velo behind it. And both those guys tonight are going to be able to fill that bill of what professional and great college pitchers look like.
Fouled away by Inslee. And a count of ball and 2 strikes. Again, Tennessee made a second trip to Omaha in the past 3 seasons last year. Only team in the SEC that's done that. And one of just 4 teams in the nation. Volunteers finishing 4th in a very tough SEC East. Inslee with a take, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Leadoff man here for the Vols, hit 280 and 50 starts a year ago. And had a lot of clutch at-bats in the postseason. A swing and a miss, and this game starts with a strikeout from Robinson.
He comes back with a great-looking changeup, about 85-mile-an-hour changeup, about 10-mile-an-hour, 9-mile-an-hour off his fastball. Look at that thing just fade away from his barrel.
Last year, more than 40 strikeouts for Robinson and more than 40 innings of work. He too played well in the postseason, was named to the Big 12's all-tournament team. And now Blake Berg for Tennessee. Fouled away for strike 1. Again, the Volunteers went to Omaha last year. And a big reason why, a monster home run from Berg in the Supers at Southern Miss. And a come from behind win, blasted a home run that traveled 479 feet.
Yeah, that's a long ways. That's a big league, big time homer.
First 2 years for Berg, 99 hits, 30 of those have left the yard. 16 a year ago. Big cut. Change up. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You know, as the night goes on, we'll get a chance to talk even more about just the kind of power that Tennessee does have and what they've been able to do versus a decade ago and where they are now the last 3 years.
That ball belted to right, but it's hooking foul. And there's that power for
kind of on cue almost. I mean, they drove that ball out to right field, but again, their offense, a lot of it is what you just saw. Big swings from some really physical, good hitters, and they're able to leave the ballpark at any point of their lineup.
Tennessee 6th in the nation in home runs a year ago, 126. And meanwhile, Robinson, the opening day start, earning this honor for a second consecutive year. First Red Raider to have been the opening day starter in back-to-back seasons since Davis Martin in 2017 and 2018. And Burke, another foul ball.
You know, Brand, every time a foul ball can give you some information about what the pitcher is doing, the ball's doing, whether it's sinking, whether it's changing speeds on the way they get over the top of it and drill it back down into the ground. And like what you're seeing right there, which means they're creating some angle, or they're creating some, down and away rotation, or taking, the speed off of it, and those hitters will get right over the top of it. It gives you some good feedback and information, as opposed to that ball sits in the middle of the plate that you foul directly by.
Yeah, and you see that protective shin guard over that right foot, right leg. Burke tells you he's done this quite a bit. 2-2. Fights off another one. That protection guard getting a lot of work right now.
We're game one, at bat number one, and I think he's hit 3 of them straight down to his guard already.
You look at the order for Coach Vitello, and he's flipping sides of the plate about every batter. Nice early battle here between Blake Burke and Kyle Robinson.
Sometimes early in games, or middle of the game as well, when you have long at-bats like this, it just starts to drain the pitcher just a little bit, and particularly early like this.
Got him swinging on the breaking ball. Robinson comes back with a curve, his second strikeout to start the night.
Every pitch has information to it, so everybody in the dugout, even including the hitter, seeing, where they see 8 pitches right there of how he's going to attack hitters. And he was finally able to take a little bit more off that off speed and that breaker to get him to swing over the top of it and miss it.
Nobody on, 2 out for Christian Moore, preseason second team All-SEC. Looks at ball 1. Highest OPS on the team last year for, again, a lineup that has a lot of high OPSs. Moore, a stellar hitter from Brooklyn, New York. Was the MVP of last year's Clemson Regional. Went 7 for 10 in against competition there in South Carolina. As he fouls that one off, homered 4 times and drove an 8.
Well, that's great production out of any position, but when you're getting it out of the middle of your infield too, and that's impressive.
That ball drilled up the middle for a base hit. Christian Moore is on with a 2-out single here in the first inning.
Well, speaking of the middle of the field, he takes a ball was landed right in the middle of the plate, and he does exactly what you're supposed to do, and he hits a bullet right back up the middle.
And there you see that beautiful swing from Moore, a professional hitter. We're talking to Coach Tony Vitello, and he's aboard with 2 outs. Brings up one of the impact transfers for Tennessee, Cannon Peebles. Last year at NC State, was the Wolfpack's leading hitter last year. Hit better than 350, and that's out of play. So can you talk about the transfer portal? And the Volunteers have utilized that quite a bit. They've lost so many players to the draft over the past couple of seasons. They've been forced to use a portal maybe a little bit more, but you bring in a player like Peebles into the program, Dalton Bargo from Missouri, and the Clemson transfer Amick in as well. And this team is locked and reloaded here in 2024.
Well, used to, when you lost so many the draft, you hope that your freshmen, you know, kind of got to a point by the time they were sophomore to replace those guys that got drafted, particularly juniors in college baseball. Now you see a lot of guys go and just take guys out of the portal and keep the same kind of balance to it, the same kind of player.
Peebles grounds out to Poppy, the freshman shortstop. And Kyle Robinson picks up a couple of strikeouts in his opening day start in the first inning. We go to the bottom half. No score here in Arlington.
Watch me. Watch me grapple, move, and pin. When I hit the mat, don't underestimate the grin. I've got state championships and medals to show. But it's about more than just winning. This you should know. Overcoming odds through therapy and care. The road was long. Now opponents beware. Watch me. Game-changing sports medicine at Shriners Children's. The most amazing care anywhere.
Protecting what matters most is the mission that matters most. At Lockheed Martin, we know today's threats come from behind, above, and below, and we make sure those who serve stay ahead of them by connecting platforms necessary to dominate every domain across air, land, sea, space, and cyber, using technologies that protect in the same moment they detect. The mission is a safer, more secure world. Our promise is to help make it happen.
Globe Life Field is your home for college baseball with 3 full weekends of action starting February 16th at the home of the Texas Rangers. It all starts with the Shriners Children's College Showdown presented by Kubota featuring Baylor, Texas Tech, Oklahoma, Oregon, Tennessee, and Nebraska. Next is the Kubota College Baseball Series with Arkansas, Oklahoma State, Michigan, and Oregon State in Weekend 2, and TCU, Texas A&M, Arizona State, and USC for Weekend 3. To get tickets and learn more, visit globelifefield.com/collegebaseball.
Here's one of the greats of the game doing it at his alma mater, Tim Tadlock, 2-time National Coach of the Year, now in season 12 at Texas Tech.
Oh, he's been doing it a long time. I mean, he fits that mode, that culture in Lubbock and his alma mater, as you mentioned, and just easy going, just one of the smartest baseball guys you'll sit down and have a conversation with, and loves the game of baseball, and obviously he's done an incredible job for Texas Tech.
Tonight's batting lineup brought to you by Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere. Lopez, Green, Bazell leading things off in the first inning here for the Red Raiders. Their head coach, Tim Tadlock, and on the mound is A.J. Russell for these Volunteers. Russell, preseason second-team All-American coming into the 2024 year. An impressive freshman campaign last season, 2-0, mainly as a reliever. 24 appearances last year, just 1 start, 30 1/3 innings of work. His strikeout to walk ratio, along with that minuscule ERA, 47 punch-outs, 7 walks.
That's pretty good. That's why he's out here on Friday night, his sophomore year with the electric stuff. I mean, that's 95, 96 mile an hour two-seamers. Just got a lot of miss to him and a lot of power behind it.
A freshman All-American last year, facing Tracer Lopez to start at the bottom of the first. And Lopez able to lay off. Texas Tech 41 wins last year. Talk about the job Tim Tadlock has done over the past 8 seasons. The Red Raiders are 186 games over 500. That's a miss. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He can coach. I mean, he won 2, if not 3 national championships at Grayson Junior College. And I mean, he's a great baseball guy and a great baseball mind. And everywhere he goes, Brent, he wins.
Russell struck him out. Lopez down on strikes. And the starting pitching so far in this game, I know we're only 4 outs in. It's looking really good.
Well, this is 97. Watch this fastball go left to right and just explode right when it gets to that turf dirt area right there. I mean, just like it grabs another gear and takes off.
What a way, and it brings up Austin Green for Texas Tech. The Red Raider program, they made its 7th straight appearance in the NCAA tournament this past year. Played at the Gainesville Regional hosted by Florida. And a lot of notable players are back, both in the lineup and on the staff, and so the expectation is pretty high this year for Tim Tadlock's team.
I think it is every year. I think it is every year. I mean, that's the kind of, you know, team and program that they've created at Lubbock and at Texas Tech, which, by the way, Frank Anderson, the pitching coach from Tennessee, used to be the pitching coach at Tech. So there's a lot of history and a lot of guys that know each other on this field tonight from coaching staffs on both teams.
Got him. Back-to-back strikeouts. A.J. Russell, 2 down.
Well, this is just hard-nosed, hardcore number ones right here. That thing is just exploding. I know it's hard to see on the screen, but that ball gets right out in front of the plate. And I'm telling you, it just picks up momentum. And he is just dotting that fastball to the left-handed hitter so far. It's been kind of away from him, but there's no mix-up. It's just been power.
Now Kevin Buzzell hitting 3rd of the order today for Texas Tech on opening day. And there again, you see Russell on the mound. Every year, teams having to lock and reload the roster. One of the biggest pieces for the Volunteers last year came in the staff as Buzzell has a 2-out base hit. And the Red Raiders have their first base runner. Last year, Chase Dolander, the ace for the Volunteers, drafted 9th overall by the Rockies this past summer.
Well, they just continue to put out top draft picks and top arms and attract them. And same with the hitters and the powers we talked about just a little bit. But, and I tell you what, the first breaker he's thrown kind of sped him up, was able to get that barrel out to it and get a base hit.
Brings up the cleanup man, Gavin Cash. Buzzell takes off. Here's a throw, and it is not in time. Boy, how about the speed from Kevin Buzzell? A year ago, first team All Big 12, freshman All-American. And the sophomore with a good play there. He's at second.
Well, I think it's a great jump. Again, he goes to a high leg kick with that power fastball. Buzzell knows that ahead of time, going back probably watching videos from a year ago and knowing that if I go get a chance, I'm going to try to get out early, and he did, and he gets a stolen base and in scoring position.
And here's Cash, the Big 12 leader a year ago on home runs, RBI, and total bases. Drove in 84 runs last year, 6 in program history. Kind of funny about Buzzell stealing second. This Red Raider team didn't really try running the bases a lot last year aggressively. Only 28 stolen bases all of last season.
And I think you look at, you have some video from the year before on the picture of your face, and he likes to get a high leg kick. It's going to put him around a 1.5 delivery over or a little higher.
A.J. Russell rears back and fires a 97-mile-per-hour sinker high in the zone. Able to climb the ladder in the bottom of the first inning. And how about his opening day start and his first inning of work? A.J. Russell strikes out Tracer Lopez, Austin Green, and Gavin Cash, and the Red Raiders strand a runner at second base. Well, look at the first inning of work from A.J. Russell, blowing it by the Red Raiders. We blow into the second inning. No score. Tennessee and Texas Tech. Well, if you like pitching, you've come to the right place. Kyle Robinson, a couple of strikeouts for Texas Tech. A.J. Russell, 3 punch-outs for Tennessee. Each team with a base hit, but no scoring in the first inning. We go to the second. No scoring opening day. The third and final game of this first day of the Shriners Children's College Showdown. Saw Nebraska beat Baylor, Oregon defeat Oklahoma. And here we are playing in the third and final game of the day. Billy Amick in his first volunteer at-bat. First pitch, and he's up there swinging. Pops this one up in foul territory. Hung in the air for a long time. Bazell able to make the catch for the first out.
I thought it was going to punch a hole in the ceiling up here. He hit that thing so high. I mean, that's an NFL punt right there that hung up there for a while. And a lot of times catchers will kind of get confused about that. But he did. He did nice and easy. Let that ball come down to him. Didn't reach up to it. And made a nice grab.
Brings up Dylan Dreiling. And there you see the Globe Life Field. Some of the structure at times can get in play. Dreiling, he's swinging at the first pitch as well. And this one playable. Caught in fair territory by Bravo. So Robinson worked pretty hard in that first inning, getting a couple of strikeouts. These 2 pitches in here, 2 outs.
Well, it's a great lesson if you're a young pitcher. And if you did have a first inning, we do quite a few pitches. You get a quick out on first out, man, get right back in there and get you another. Try to get you a quick out on the second one, and certainly makes a quality pitch. 2 pitches and 3 pitches, and he's got 2 outs.
And now a JUCO All-American making his Tennessee debut, Robin Villeneuve. One of the top JUCO hitters in the country last year. 28 homers at Weatherford Junior College, a tremendous Texas JUCO, and drove in more than 100.
He's right down the road. Ended up going to Grand Junction last year in the Junior College World Series.
That's out of play from Villeneuve. And you know, Ty, we've mentioned bringing in JUCO transfers and other Division I Power 5 transfers. And well, the recruiting coordinator here, Tennessee, Josh Elander, 7th year now, has done a phenomenal job.
Josh Elander is really good. He was a great player. Speaking of a Texas guy.
Another 2-out base into this game. Second 2-out hit for Tennessee. This one courtesy of Villeneuve.
Oh, it's a good-looking swing. Gets something out over the plate. Drives it past the shortstop. But to finish what we were talking about with Josh Elander, I mean, that guy's a good recruiter and a good baseball guy. Look at this swing right here, Brant. It's good short stroke. Big-time Division I looking swing. Going from the junior college routes to Division I baseball. And that's good velo he's facing out there tonight as well. And steps right in, gets a base hit.
Now the sophomore from Lewisburg, Tennessee, Kavares Tears. He was 14 starts a year ago, starting opening day here tonight. And takes a changeup for ball 1. A lot of good high school baseball played in Tennessee, and Tears a 2-time finalist for Mr. Baseball in the state.
There is a lot of great baseball. I mean, look at this all over the United States. I mean, it's so popular now. Certainly, I think college baseball is driving some of that interest and popularity as well. But you're right. And again, I kind of circle back when we were talking about the recruiting for what they're doing at Tennessee and what Coach Fratello and Frank Anderson and Josh Enoner, those guys have brought recruiting-wise, making great choices and coaching them up and develop them. It's one of the top ones in the country.
Well, Robinson has picked up his 3rd strikeout of the night, holding the Volunteers scoreless as we go to the bottom of the second. And welcome back to Arlington. We're now joined by Volunteers head coach Tony Vitello. And coach, we were just talking up your staff and how much they've meant to the success of Volunteers baseball over the past several years. How much credit do you give them for the job they've done?
A ton, a majority of. I mean, there's certainly been kind of a group effort as it relates to kind of the locker room vibe and the dugout vibe. I think that's been our best attribute. That stems from our support staff, but a member of our support staff is Coach Frank Anderson, who does a phenomenal job with those guys on the mound.
Coach Ty Harrington, I got to ask, I've had a chance to watch you guys often over the last couple of years, and certainly because Frank Anderson I've known for years as well. But you guys, your energy and your passion during the game, I mean, is second to none. Is it something you guys spend a lot of time talking about, recruiting, or all the above?
A little bit recruiting and then a little bit discussing, but I think majority of it stems organically. Again, I kind of date back to that support staff comment with the academic coordinator, our trainer, you name it. There's a lot of good people helping these kids to reach the goals they want to, you know, whether it be off the field stuff or in the classroom and, of course, on the field. And I think naturally they want to give back. Maybe we're guilt tripping them into it.
Coach, thanks so much for your time, and best of luck the rest of the game.
Yeah, you bet. Y'all take care.
And again, Tony Vitello, our coach interview, brought to you by Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere. He is one of the greats in this game right now. Tony Vitello has turned Tennessee into a perennial national contender as Cade McGee becomes strikeout victim number 4 for A.J. Russell.
I'll tell you what, A.J. Russell, I think so far in this game, he's thrown one off-speed pitch for a base hit to Bazell, and ever since then, it's been nothing but old country hardball heaters. Here they come with great life and got a lot of great movement into those fastballs.
You know, Tony Vitello was an assistant under Dave Van Horn at Arkansas, one of, again, the greats in the game. Took over 7 years ago, but when he first arrived in Knoxville, he said he didn't think their guys believed they belonged in the SEC. He had to go about changing that mindset. And you fast forward time, and now all these years later, again, they've been to Omaha twice over the past 3 years. 2 years ago, Tennessee went 58-9.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's common that, you know, they weren't having the success that they wanted to have and could have, and I think it takes time if you have a lot of returning players to kind of change that mindset and then go recruit guys that you feel like are going to put you at the top of the upper echelon of the SEC. And look, that's hard to do in that conference when you're talking about so many great programs and players. But I mean, they've been able to go in there and change it. You know, coaches love to use this word, the culture part of it, make it feel like they belong in the, you know, in the SEC. Well, they do now. I mean, they've been at the top of it and won a lot of games.
Washburn caught looking. Strikeout number 5 for Russell. First 2 down of the inning via a strikeout. That's going to bring up Damian Bravo.
Well, it's just almost unfair right there. He's been throwing that fastball way to the left-handed hitters, Brant. Now he comes in there and creates this backdoor breaker to the left-handed hitters. I mean, he struck out 5 of the 6 guys that he's faced.
Threw him the slider to strike out Washburn. Here's Bravo. Sophomore steps in and swings and misses, strike 1. Bravo actually a two-way player for the Red Raiders a year ago. 8 appearances on the mound and those 30 at-bats. Came back with a sinker at 94. Well, you can throw a pitch like that with movements, with that kind of velocity, you can win some games in the SEC.
Yeah, well, it's tough. It's tough to hit for sure. I think if you're Tech right now, you try to sit in there and battle and foul off balls, get some hits when you can, you know, and try to create some long at bats, Brent, because he was a reliever a year ago, and maybe you kind of hang in there long enough that when he gets his pitch count up a little bit, maybe he could make some mistakes. But right now, I mean, it's electric and it's hard to hit.
Fouled back by Bravo. Red Raiders offensively one of the top run scoring teams in the Big 12, 14th nationally in runs scored. 93 home runs last season. A lot of power Coach Tim Tadlock's team. Finished 6th in the Big 12. And picked to finish 4th this year. In a conference that looks a little bit different now, will look even more different this time next season. Tied ball 2 on a 95-mile-per-hour fastball. So over the offseason, the Big 12 adding 4 programs new to the Big 12 this season. Cincinnati, BYU joining the conference along with UCF. Swing and a miss and a strikeout. Also add Houston into that mix of Big 12 newcomers as A.J. Russell strikes out the side and he is locked in. 6 outs, all via strikeouts for the sophomore. Moving right along on opening day, and a good showing by the Vols fans here in Arlington, Texas, sites of the 2024 Shriners Children's College Showdown. This is the 3rd and final game of the day. 3 more games on deck tomorrow. Baylor versus Oregon. The Red Raiders taking on Nebraska, and Tennessee playing the nightcap again tomorrow against Oklahoma. We go to the top of the 3rd. A game so far dominated by pitching. Kyle Robinson, 3 strikeouts for the Red Raiders. A.J. Russell, 6 punch-outs for the Vols.
I think if you go back to the first game today and the second game, you know, the first 5 innings of, you know, the first 2 games were pitcher dominated as well. And certainly this one's starting to shape up the same way. I mean, these guys, I mean, just hammering and pelting the strike zone right now.
Brad Gillory leads off the 3rd here for Tennessee. Do note that the top run producer from last year for the Vols, Zane Denton, is not with the team. Wasn't with them over the course of the offseason, was kind of dealing with personal issues, and right now is taking some time away from the game. And it was a question mark after last season it ended whether or not Zane Denton would return, possibility of being drafted. It didn't happen. Volunteers did bring in a lot of impact transfers to help fill the void left behind by the players that did leave and potentially didn't. And again, not with the team now. Check swing, did he go? He did not. Laurie stays alive. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You could hear half the crowd to the right kind of moaning, and the other half of the crowd to the left just kind of letting their breath out that it wasn't a called 3rd strike, because he kind of got those hands moving. Sometimes those umpires will call it.
You go back to last year's postseason run for Tennessee, and it was a classic of a game in the regionals against Clemson. As Robinson, with his first walk of the night, leadoff man is off for Tennessee for the first time with nobody out. Well, the Vols were down to their final strike in the 9th inning against Clemson, and it was Denton who hit a 3-run homer in that game, one of 2 homers for him that day. Game that the Vols eventually won in extras. But again, a big part of that lineup not back here in 2024.
Well, it's a 27-out game. You can hit a homer in the first inning or in the ninth. It's always more dramatic at the end, and you'll always hear people talk about it down to the last out, the last strike, the last 2 outs, whatever it might be. But that's why the game designed that way, and that's why it's such a beautiful game too. If you're on the winning side of that or the good side of that, it's a lot of fun.
Well, in that game, it was this gentleman right here, Hunter Inslee, that had the go-ahead RBI double in the 14th inning of that game against Clemson. Volunteers won the regional, went on to the Supers to take on Southern Miss, representing the Sun Belt, won that in 3 games. It's fouled away for Inslee, who struck out against Robinson back in the first.
It's just too good of a lineup. You get into 13, extra innings, 11th, 12th, and your bullpens extend a little bit. I mean, that's, Tennessee's it's just hard to get through that kind of lineup. And particularly they got so much extra base power in the lineup that they've had last year and again this year.
That's grounded foul. You talked about the power tie. Over the last 3 years, Tennessee has belted out 382 home runs. That's more than they had in the 10 years prior to that combined.
That's unbelievable. I want to say that again to the crowd here in a second.
So Tennessee in the last 3 years, 18 home runs shy of 400. And that total of 382 is more than they had in the previous 10 years before that 3-year span.
That just is, that absolutely blew my mind when I was reading it in the game notes last night, and I just got to thinking about that and trying to let that resonate as a baseball coach, that how many they'd hit in the 3 years and just overwhelmed a whole decade of volunteer baseball, which they've had some success during that decade as well. It's one of those things you almost want to hide the stat sheet when you're the opposing team from your pitchers.
That ball lifted in the air to left, coming in on the run to make the catch is Bravo. Runner got a lead off of first base, throw back in, heads towards the Red Raider dugout. But Laurie's going to stay at first base. And a great play made in left by Bravo.
A great play by Bravo. And Brant, a great job of running the bases by Laurie. He knew he got to the base, saw he was going to catch it, and knew what kind of arm strength he had, and gave himself just enough time to get back to first base without getting doubled off.
Second time through the order for Robinson. Got Burt to strike out in his first at-bat. Although, if you recall, he turned on one that just hooked foul to right field. Showing off his pull side power, Blake Burke. Got a runner on with 1 out here in the 3rd. Talk about power on power. And the Red Raiders a season ago racked up close to 600 strikeouts. Only Oklahoma State had more in the Big 12.
That's some tough pitches to take right there. That ball's a little bit elevated away. Power guys like this with Burke, they get to see elevation. Boy, they like to get that barrel moving, get to the bottom half of that ball and drive it out of the park.
All right, Ty. 3-0 count here. You have a batter like Burke at the plate. You turn the green light on.
I mean, I don't know for sure what their philosophy is. Historically, you say no to get his pitch count up early in the year because you get to the bullpen a little bit quicker.
He does take it, takes a strike.
Yeah, and I saw it, you can always assume usually early, particularly if it's not an RBI situation, you'll let him take, and again, just trying to run the count up. Now, runner second, third, 2 outs, might have been a different story.
Robinson trying to shorten the lead of Laurie. Over at first base through the leadoff walk. As Robinson approaches the heart of the order here. Second time through. That ball hit in the air to center, a mile into the air. Harrelson rests under it. 2 outs, and Burke is 0 for 2 against Robinson.
It looked like he just missed that. I mean, that ball obviously went really high, as you were talking about, had kind of the hang time of the foul ball earlier in the game, but it looked like a good aggressive swing at it, a little bit elevated. I mean, it looked like he just missed it.
Christian Moore has one of the 2 hits for Tennessee tonight. A 2-out single in the first. In the air, right field, well hit. Green on the run, and he makes the catch. Going into the wall. What a play by Austin Green. Robbing Moore of a base hit, and the Vols have a potential run. The Red Raiders flashing some leather in the third, keeping this game scoreless here in Arlington. We're back after this on Flow Sports. Tonight's coaches interview is brought to you by Shriners Children's, the most amazing care anywhere. We're now joined by Tim Tadlock, 12th year at Texas Tech. And Coach, first I have to ask, how about your outfield defense and that play made it right?
Yeah, that was a really good play. Balls hit well. Moore kid's a really good player and backspin the ball all around the field, and he did that.
Hey, Coach Tadlock, Ty, I gotta ask you this. Coaching at Grayson College, Hill College, OU, and you return to your alma mater to go coach and to be the head coach, and the success that you've had, how important was that for you to go back to your alma mater, and how much fun has it been for you and your family to be back there?
Ty, it's big time. It's a once-in-a-lifetime deal. Love it. You got it, man. I think they left. You want to just talk this whole inning? We can stay on the deal even though the camera ain't here. I mean, if you want, we're going to try to hit some balls hard on the ground against this guy.
I'll tell you what, it's pretty electric stuff right now, isn't it?
It's real electric, yeah.
How do you think Tim Tadlock would fare if he went in there with his old black Easton barrel bat?
Wouldn't be able to see. Take 2 and hit the right. You know? Yeah.
Well, hey, Coach, we appreciate your time. Thanks so much, and best of luck the rest of the night.
Thanks.
Again, he is one of the greats in the game, Tim Tadlock, and you said it, Ty, just how special is it for him? Calls it his dream job to be back at his alma mater. It has been for 12 years now, but coaching, once again, in love it.
It just, not that another coach couldn't do it, right? I mean, but it's your alma mater. I mean, there's a little special place in your heart. There's a little bit more. Maybe somebody wouldn't get up as early and go work as hard as he does and his staff does. But I think it makes it a little bit that more special if it's, you know, going back home for you. And man, and he is truly one of the most competitive guys. I'm talking about golf. It doesn't matter. That guy likes to compete, and his teams resemble that every time they take the field.
That is number 7. 5 straight Red Raiders struck out by A.J. Russell. His previous career high for strikeouts in the game, 5. And he's got 7 of all the outs he's recorded, all via the strikeout.
Well, you heard Coach Tadlock even talking about we're going to try to hit a ground ball. The reality of what it is, they're trying to get to the top of that baseball or the middle of it, and that thing's got such great run to it and life to it. They're having a hard time doing that. And obviously the velo, it was up to 97 tonight, but it's just that fastball's just got so much movement and life to it right now. And in the second inning, he brought that breaker into play. Well, it really made it tough.
There's that breaking ball there for Russell. 0-2 to the freshman TJ Pompey, part of a really good freshman class for the Red Raiders. In fact, it was rated as the 11th best freshman class in the country and the second best in Big 12. Coppell, Texas. And Pompey strikes out. And A.J. Russell's throwing gas right now.
Well, gas, and that was a breaker. He just ran away right there at 81 miles an hour. But just about the time you try to get geared up, watch this breaker run away from. About the time you get geared up to hit that fastball, he brings this thing into play. And I mean, it's just right now, and it's pinpoint, right? He's not missing spot. His misses are small. And I mean, and again, I can't overemphasize the life of his fastball. And then now he wants to come in here and throw a 78, 80 mile an hour backdoor slider to start off the leadoff hitter his second time through the lineup.
We spoke about the staff earlier for Coach Vitello, and again, Frank Anderson, the pitching coach, has done a remarkable job with the staff in his 7 years in Knoxville.
Well, he's a Hall of Famer. Let me just tell you, I mean, that guy is a junior college coach in Texas at Howard Junior College, and then assistant, we mentioned this earlier, assistant at Texas Tech. And, then was an assistant at the University of Texas, and he was a head coach at Oklahoma State, been at U of H. I mean, everywhere Frank Anderson has been, they have won, and anywhere they've been, they've always had unbelievable pitchers. And I'll tell you what else they do. They work fast, they throw strikes, and he treats the game the way it's supposed to be treated. His players play that way, and they absolutely know how to compete.
1-2 to Lopez. Changeup that time from Russell. That's low. 2-2.
That might be the first off-speed pitch that kind of wasn't as good as all the other ones because he's been so good.
Pitch count up to 42.
The guy's been a reliever last year, starter. I think once you said last year, but most of the time out of the pen, you can go in there and air it out. You know what I mean? You can say, well, I mean, just let that baseball eat and get after it. And as a starter.
In the air to center. Hensley able to track it down, and finally an out in this game for Russell that wasn't a strikeout. However, he's retired 7 in a row. No score through 3, heading into the 4th in Arlington.
Watch me roll, grind, and spin. Playgrounds for wheels, that's always a win. One with my chair, but never held back. I do things sitting down, most people standing can't hack. Some might say my condition was fate. My doctors would tell you I'm just redefining great. Watch me. Life-changing orthopedic excellence at Shriners Children's. The most amazing care anywhere.
You're so much more than just a landowner. You're a gardener, a groundskeeper, and a landscaper. That's why you need versatile, durable Kubota equipment.
The American Western Weekend. 2 nights of Western sports and live entertainment. Deep in the heart of Texas. March 8th and 9th, Globe Life Field. Friday night, the American Performance Horsemen with a concert by Luke Bryan. Saturday night, the American Rodeo with a concert by Post Malone. The American Western Weekend, March 8th and 9th. Tickets on sale at AmericanRodeo.com.
A look at A.J. Russell being met by his teammates in the dugout through 3 innings. He's got 8 strikeouts in time. Starting to think that maybe the Volunteer fielders could have left their gloves back at the hotel.
Well, as infielders and outfielders aren't going to complain much, but they got to create some of their own excitement out there. Maybe practice a few ground balls in between and still stepping into every pitch. But boy, it really has been. It's an electric. I mean, just look at that fastball. You just watch the end of it, and it just takes off. And then he's been able to make that ball go the other way with that little slider that he throws. And so far, he's been pretty dominant.
We go to the top of the 4th. Out of the order batting here for Tennessee. Peebles, Amick, and Dreiling. Hitters 4 through 6. Volunteer team accustomed to fast starts. A couple of years ago, part of that 58-win season, Tennessee started the year 31-1. Had a program record 23-game winning streak. Go back to 2019, Tennessee won its first 15 games. And even the year after that, in what was the COVID-shortened year, Tennessee started the season 13-0.
31-1. Let that resonate for a second.
It makes you really want to study what that one team did.
Yeah, I mean, but that team was so offensive, and obviously they had great pitching too, but they were just so offensive. And I remember watching them in the Super Regionals, and I think they ended up, I can't remember if it was Notre Dame that might have beat them. They came into Knoxville and found a way to knock them off. And that's baseball, by the way. I mean, some of the best teams I ever played on and coached, didn't go as far as what you had hoped, but boy, that team was impressive.
Popped up by Peebles. Out of play, remains 2-2. Cannon Peebles, they get a first-year transfer from NC State. At one point was named National Player of the Week a year ago as a freshman with a 10 RBI game. I saw him homer on both sides of the plate.
Like Robinson tried to overcook one right there. He was trying to go fastball in. It's what it looked like, Brant. And every once in a while, those pitchers, they want to make sure they get it in there. They don't want to make that mistake because your margin of error with a left-handed hitter is smaller, and because they love that down and in fastball, and he just tried to pull that and kind of missed his mark.
That ball ripped to right. That's a base hit. 3rd tonight for Tennessee. Leadoff man is on for the 2nd straight inning for the Volunteers.
That's a good at-bat right there. Good short stroke. Watch this swing right here. Ball's kind of running away from you a little bit. Watch this right here. Stays in there on it. Keeps his eyes down in behind the baseball. Puts a good swing at pull side. As you mentioned, now he had an opportunity again with a leadoff runner on.
Brings up Billy Amick. A .413 hitter last year for Clemson. Swinging at the first pitch. That ball nearly hits some of the stadium stanchion. As the roof is closed there at Globe Life Park. Ends up drifting out of play, and it's 0-1 to Amick.
Now, we're pretty good ways up here, by the way. And that ball got past us, and I literally thought it was, I kept waiting. I was going to hear something, or that was a fly ball.
Really close to hitting that railing. Amick swinging again, high fly ball, right field. That is deep, and that is gone. Volunteers on top. The first home run in a Vols uniform for Billy Amick. It's 2-0 Tennessee.
My goodness, what an at-bat. What a swing. You talking about getting behind the ball, Brant. and driving it to the furthest point directly opposite field for you that you can hit one, and he does it. And I mean, as soon as he hit it, I thought it had a chance to get out. We're getting a chance to look at him get in behind that baseball and drive it. He knew it too. Look at him.
Ball tucked into the corner, and it hit the foul pole. Back in the Vols a year ago, 126 home runs. That is their first of 2024. Amick homered 13 times last year for the Tigers, and Clemson was unbeaten in the games he went deep.
You see a lot of pull side homers in baseball. You'll see some gap homers in baseball. When you start talking about driving balls opposite field down the line like that with that kind of power in a big league ballpark, that's big league power.
What would opening day be, Ty, without at least one Oppo Taco?
Yeah, you got it. And that ball hit about, looked like it appeared to hit about 4 or 5 feet up that pole.
Still nobody out for Tennessee here in the fourth. Struck him out looking, so Dryling's 0 for 2. Fourth strikeout for Robinson, and a good way to bounce back after the homer.
No, it's a great way. I mean, look, that's tough. If you've never given up a home run before, and you got on TV, you got a big crowd here, and you know, everybody's amped up. It's opening day, and for him to come back and make quality pitches like this shows you the kind of pitcher he is and the maturity that Robinson has. And I mean, he dialed up that backdoor breaker right there. That's not an easy pitch to throw, and he was able to execute it.
Villeneuve singled off of Robinson in his first at bat, takes a strike here on the curveball. Again, Tennessee 2-run homer Billy Amick. And his second volunteer at bat, going deep. 1 ball, 1 strike here to Villeneuve. Swing and a miss, strike 2. I referenced the 4 additions to the Big 12. Cincinnati, Central Florida, Houston, BYU. As a result, the Big 12 schedule has changed this year. You see the conference logo on the sleeve of the Red Raiders. 30-game conference schedule now in the Big 12 conference.
The good news is those teams are quality teams, so they're going to plug in some RPI and bring some, travel some RPI with them, and it's going to be a little bit bigger conference. And look, I with all the changes and transitions in college athletics and the conference changing, I mean, there's obviously going to be an adjustment for everybody. But you got to feel like that, with Texas and OU moving on the SEC, the Big 12 did a great job of bringing in teams that are going to be really good baseball teams and just increase the footprint of what baseball is in the Big 12, which is really good, by the way. Real good.
Some of the Pac-12 programs about to come into the Big 12. And Coach Tadlock, we're talking about all the changes, talked specifically about Texas and Oklahoma. They've been mainstays in the Big 12 for so long. Said it's going to be just really strange to look at a schedule and not see them there. Villeneuve is on for the second time. Good start to his Tennessee career. Base runner on for Kavaris Tears with 1 out in the fourth.
Pretty good at bat right there, Brent. I mean, first time up, he gets a base hit, and then he follows a strikeout and the hitter in front of him, and at that point, Robinson was starting to feel pretty good with the strikeout to Dreiling, and then that's a good long at bat. Didn't chase, and now he's earned his way 90 feet into first base.
And we have a visitation coming up on the mound here for the Red Raiders. With Tennessee on top 2-0 off the home run from Billy Amick.
I was looking through on Villeneuve, where he was from, when you said Weatherford College, and obviously I'm a Texan, and I love to find out where kids are from. It's just an inquisitive piece of me, and I got to start digging in there. He's a Canadian kid, and there's a lot from University of Nebraska. Have a lot of Canadian kids, and let me tell you something. I coached several of them in my lifetime, and they were really hard-nosed, tough baseball players, and they don't get to play as much baseball year-round, obviously weather-wise, as what you would find, like, you know, here in the great state of Texas. But boy, the number of quality baseball players that Canada has put out over the last few years has been a lot of fun to watch, and you're starting to see that influence the college baseball, not just at the junior college level, now at the Division I level. Well, they're good baseball players.
It's funny you bring up the weather, because the Red Raiders, in getting ready for the season, practice this week was altered a bit because it was snowing in Lubbock.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they've got nice indoor facilities now. You know, I mean, they really do. That's another thing. You know, I think if we'd had enough time for Coach Tadlock to talk about some of the differences that have been made. I was actually looking at some of the changes and additions that Texas Tech is doing, not only in baseball but football and all the other sports. I mean, nowadays, I mean, in college athletics, it's an arms race. I mean, it is. You got to have the nice facilities to be able to recruit and be able to get your kids to develop, and that's all part of it too. And certainly they've been able to do that in Lubbock.
You say football, Texas Tech, I immediately think of Pat Mahomes.
You should.
Right, just last Sunday, winning his third Super Bowl. Second in a row for Patrick Mahomes, a former Red Raider.
Former baseball player too.
Yep.
His dad was Mr. Baseball coming out in the late 80s. But I'll tell you what, that guy's got another gear to sports and champions. You know, I mean, he just walks like a champion. Everything he does, he's winning championships. I'd love to just sit around and go try to play ping pong with him and see how that would turn out for me.
Tim Tadlock, Red Raiders head coach, loves the environment, getting to play in a big league park like this. Red Raiders accustomed to it. This is their 14th game at Globe Life Field. Of course, the Big 12 tournament has moved here, so a lot of those games have come in the postseason.
I mean, you get to play in a big league park, and you want to watch your players' heartbeat, right? Well, how do they react in this kind of environment? Not just the crowd and your opponent, but the ballpark as well.
Here's that into the shift. Here's a throw to second, back to first, not in time. Well, the Red Raiders were in great position for a potential double play there with a shift on, looking for the 3-6-1 double play. But instead, a fielder's choice, and Tears is safe at first.
Well, this is the hardest one to turn when you go 3-6-1. But I tell you what, that's close. We'll get another look at it. Oh, he's safe. I'll tell you what, Gavin Cash came off that bag and did a 360, and I mean, missiled that ball over to Pompey like you're supposed to, and they almost could be able to complete the double play.
Cash at first base for the Red Raiders. Player with a lot of pro potential. Very good hitter, good defensively at first. Runner takes off for second, and the ball goes off the mid of Bazell. And so Tears is there easily.
I think he had that bag stolen anyway, Brand. He got a good jump. 2 outs. If you get the opportunity as a coach and you know you got a guy that can run at first base, you're going to do everything you can to try to get him a situation, to get him at second base in the RBI moment. Usually you may try to look for a breaker, but I'll tell you what, he was just aggressively getting off the bag and a good job, got a great jump.
But a long half inning so far for Robinson. Giving up 2 hits, a walk, the 2 runs. And a strikeout so far. Swing and a miss on the fastball, 1-2.
Long innings like this, Brent, as a pitcher, you got to keep reminding yourself, particularly in this situation he's in right now, I'm 1 pitch away from getting out of this. Even though my pitch count is stretched out, I'm 1 pitch away, and I got to dial that best pitch up in this moment.
Well, Dials up a fastball that just missed there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pretty big out here for Robinson, with the top of the order looming next. We'll be seeing Hunter Ensley for 3rd time. If Lowry can reach. Back up the middle. Well played by Lopez at second, and a good throw. Cash, the stretch, takes him off the bag, and coming all the way home to score is Tears. It's 3-0 Tennessee.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was going to be a great defensive play. And look, Lopez had to make a long throw because he was way back up the middle. And we're going to get another look to see how far off the bag Cash might have gotten, or did he? I can't tell right there, Brand. I couldn't see on that other side of the base to see if his foot stayed on there. Now, in the meantime, Tears does a good job of not stopping. Ball hit deep in the middle part of the field. You'll teach your base runners coming around second with 2 outs. Keep going. In that situation, he did. He was able to score a run. Now they're going to go review this, is what it looks like.
And they will. The question is, Gavin Cash, does that toe come off the bag? The throw was in time, but if his foot was off the bag, that call's going to stand, and it'll be 3-0 Tennessee. Making the call at first base, Shane Matheny, part of his crew. Our plate umpire, Casey Moser. Blake Felix is second, Scott Johnson at third. Here it is again. You're looking for the foot on the bag. The throw beats him, but does that right foot come off? You see Cash try to get it back as well. Did he get it back in time before Lowry touched the bag?
You know, and Shane Matheny, who's a really good umpire, by the way, had a great view of it. If you would go back and look, he's lined up where he could see if there was going to be separation between. We can't really tell with our camera angle right there if his foot came off or not. And Shane's in a good enough spot. See how he is back here behind the first baseman. So he would be able to see if there's any opening between the foot and the bag. Oh, Brant, that looks like there is, right?
I think this call is going to stand. I just don't know there's enough evidence to overturn. Credit Cash for trying to get his foot back on. But again, you go with the call on the field.
Yep.
I'm not sure anything that we've seen is definitive to overturn this.
Well, it's a long throw for Lopez back up the middle. I mean, he was a pull side defense. He was back up the middle, kind of pushed back towards center field, so it was going to be a tough throw. And as it's, I believe that the play is going to stand, Brant. But you can kind of see there where the umpire had a really good angle behind it to see that separation.
Casey Moser. Safe. So Lopez charged with a throwing error. Tears able to score. Again, heads up base running as Tim Tadlock comes out to the mound. And again, with this Tennessee lineup flipping over for a 3rd time, I think you're going to see a change here for Texas Tech.
Well, you're absolutely right. I mean, that 3rd time through the lineup, and he's been out there a while too. That's a lot of pitches in his half inning. His misses got a little bit bigger. Had a chance to get out of it right there. Sometimes it don't work out. I thought he made a quality pitch right there and had a quality start for Texas Tech as well.
And that is in fact it for Kyle Robinson. After 83 pitches and 3 2/3 innings, that's it for his opening day start. So again, Tennessee on top, 3-0 with a pitching change here for the Red Raiders. Ability and owner experience. And Shriners Children's. 6 remarkable kids have each teamed up with a participating university for the Shriners Children's College Showdown Team Fundraising Challenge. All weekend long, teams will compete to see which fan base can raise the most money in support of Shriners Children's. Go online to shrinersshowdown.com to donate in honor of your favorite team today. Tennessee on top of the big hit in this inning. Oppo Taco Billy Amick. His first homer with the Volunteers, going off the foul pole. A Clemson Tiger a year ago, hitting 13 home runs, his first as of fall. 1 run later after the home run is 3-zip Volunteers as Tennessee is chased out Kyle Robinson.
Well, how about you just make your presence known and felt as a Tennessee Volunteer with an opposite field homer. I mean, straight down the line, opposite field, and what certainly shows you the power that he's got in that barrel.
And a new pitcher into the game now for the Red Raiders. And now for Texas Tech is Derek Bridges in relief after Kyle Robinson goes 3 2/3 in his opening day start. Now the Red Raiders in the bullpen for the first time. Insert Bridges, a left-hander out of Duncan, Oklahoma. Missed most of last year due to injury for Texas Tech. In his career, 29 appearances and making number 30 here tonight.
His job right now is to get this offense stopped. Try to give Tech a little breath right here, get back in their dugout, and then try to see if they can't go muster up some offense. But he's got to put a stop to them at this point.
Only 7 innings of work last year for Bridges. And facing Hunter Inslee, his 3rd time through the order. And takes a strike. Inslee 0 for 2 so far tonight. Off the fist and fouled by Inslee. And a nice catch. How about that? The bare hand snag by Red Raider fan here at Globe Life Field.
He's enjoying the moment, isn't he?
Got the phone in one hand, ball in the other. The best catch of the day. Casual catch made as well. Looked effortless.
He might have been an ex-player. He reacted at baseball like he's been around this game a little bit. I wouldn't be surprised if he's played this game at different times in his life, but he did. He made that look easy, and then got to celebrate with it too. Did you see that?
Wouldn't you?
Heck yeah, I would. Well, first of all, I'd have gone the other way. If ball comes near me nowadays, I don't want to embarrass me or my family anymore by trying to catch it. So it's just easier for me to act like I don't see it and go the other direction.
A swing and a miss and a strikeout for Bridges out of the bullpen. Inslee down on strikes for the 2nd time tonight. But the Vols are on the board. They scored 3 times in the 4th. Highlighted by the home run from Billy Amick. It's 3-zip Tennessee.
You're so much more than just a landowner. You're a gardener, a groundskeeper, and a landscaper. That's why you need versatile, durable Kubota equipment.
3 bands, 1 stadium. Def Leppard, Journey, the Steve Miller Band, together. 3 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame icons. Their biggest hits, August 12th, Globe Life Field. Tickets on sale now at DefLeppardJourney2024.com.
Sometimes you just need a little wonderful in your life. So why not go to a place made for it? Arlington, Texas. It's a city made for fun and excitement and all the things you love to do. And even some things you didn't know you loved until you came here and found them. Come see for yourself why Arlington is a world of wonderful.
Welcome back to Globe Life Field, side of the 2024 Shriners Children's College Showdown. This is day one of a three-day tournament. Brant Freeman, Ty Harrington, and now Sean Decker, the president of Rev Entertainment, joining us now here at Globe Life Field. And Sean, what an event. How special is it to have it here in Arlington?
It's a big deal for us to start the college baseball season here at Globe Life Field every year now. I think this is our third or fourth year, and big deal for us.
We brought up this figure earlier in our coverage. Dating back to 2021, just 3 years ago, this venue has hosted so many college baseball events, now over 70 between these early season tournaments, the Big 12 postseason as well. What does it mean for this venue to be hosting this great game?
Yeah, it was always a huge piece of our intent when we designed the building to make sure that as we went, this was the home for college baseball. And so I got a lot of criticism when we said we were going to play 30 games a year here. And now I think we're doing far more than that.
Here we are right now in the fourth inning with Tennessee on top 3-zip, and Globe Life Field opened in 2020 here in Arlington. I know a lot of the Texas Ranger fans happy about having a roof over their heads for a baseball game. The ballpark at Arlington, as that pop-up is caught in the infield for the inning's first out. Green is retired. You catch a game at the old ballpark in the summer and temperatures would cook you a little bit, but here it is, you know, at Globe Life Field. Just a phenomenal facility, and one that, again, you look at the stands here, tends to draw a lot of fans.
Yeah, absolutely. Last year we hosted over 54,000 fans here over the 3 days for opening weekend. This year is trending to be close to that, and then with the next 2 weekends to follow, I think we'll get close to or exceed 100,000 people for the first 3 weekends of college baseball. So a great testament to the way the sport's growing, and we're proud to get to be a small piece of that here.
Sean, I got to tell you, I've been in college baseball for a long time, and this is a statement, kind of, and maybe a question at the end of it, but what you guys are doing for college baseball is unbelievable. Look, I'm partial and think this is the greatest sport that there is, but what you guys are supplying an avenue, an opportunity for college baseball to continue its footprint and grow. And I can't tell you on behalf of being an old college baseball coach and being around this, how much we appreciate what you guys are doing for our sport. It's huge for us that we get to come in, play in these venues, the fans, the experience. I mean, just looking at all the young people that came to the game today and what it is going to do and has done for college baseball, I appreciate it. And it's on, the future's only bigger because of people like yourselves and organizations like this that want to help college baseball grow.
Well, that means a ton. Thank you. Listen, no question, we first started talking about doing this because of the weather. We didn't have the choice, and the roof that you talked about, we didn't really have the opportunity to do this at the old stadium. We had the grass, all kinds of intricacies that made it more difficult. We knew coming here we wanted to do it. I think we had the good fortune of good timing to also be, the facilities are getting so much better around the country.
Yeah.
The experience for fans is getting a ton better, and so we got to piggyback on that and hopefully add a little more value, and really appreciate what you said.
That is the ninth strikeout now for A.J. Russell, who's been brilliant so far in his opening day start here for Tennessee, joined again by the president from Rev Entertainment, Sean Decker. And the involvement from Shriners Children's, I know this has been a long-standing annual tournament hosted by them. They've been in Houston for so many years. What does it mean to have their involvement for this tournament here in Arlington?
Absolutely unbelievable. I mean, these guys are unreal, right? When you look at the stories that they do on campus with these kids and the team captains, the way the coaches and the programs buy in, Shriners has been a world-class partner since the day we met them. So I sat down with them. Their commitment to this and to their mission and the way it collides with us in college baseball, they're the ideal people to work with.
And the quality of the college programs you're getting here, I mean, you have teams that have Omaha history this weekend. the next couple of weekends, Oregon State, Arkansas, Oklahoma State, Michigan, the list kind of goes on and on, to be able to bring the quality of play here. What does that mean, not only for this season, but for the future of these tournaments here moving forward?
Yeah, no question. It starts with having the great programs, and candidly from our side, I think later on in the weekend you guys will meet with Jared Schramm, who's our vice president of events, and he and his team book all these and spend an incredible amount of time staying close with the coaches, with the publications, to make sure we get the teams they want, and they've done a great job, and I'm just thankful to get to work with them.
Well, Sean, it's been a pleasure visiting with you. Enjoy the rest of the week and look forward to the ongoing coverage.
Appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
All right, that again, Sean Decker, president from Rev Entertainment, joining us as we head to the 5th inning. Volunteers on top 3-0 over Texas Tech.
We're here today to introduce one of our patients, Dylan, who's been going to Shriners Children's Hospitals for about 15 years, to the Texas Tech Red Raider baseball team.
When I was 13 months old, I went to Shriners for the first time, and I was diagnosed with osteogenesis imperfecta. It's a brittle bone disease, so they break easy, and scoliosis. Scoliosis is the curvature of the spine. I've been getting treatments to help make my bones stronger so I don't break near as much.
There's no doubt in my mind that we wouldn't have been able to get the treatment that Dylan needs if it wasn't for Shriners. If they didn't have the knowledge of the OI, he wouldn't be the kid he is today.
We got a jersey we want to present him with the number 24. It's really a learning experience for our team and for our staff, and you can see how much the Shriners help these kids.
It's the kids that matter to us, and that's what we're there for. But regardless of their ability to pay, we will treat the kids.
Josh.
I'm Dylan. Today's just been amazing. It's been so nice. It just made me feel like they're my family now.
Back up.
Volunteers behind a big 2-run homer from Billy Amick and some stellar pitching from A.J. Russell, leading 3-0 as we go to the top of the 5th inning. And this is Shriners Children's College Showdown here in 2024. Just got done visiting with the president from Rev Entertainment, Sean Decker, putting on this incredible tournament, the first of 3 straight college baseball weekends here in Arlington.
How about not just one weekend? Let's line it up and let's do 3 great weekends with some of the best talented programs in the country, and let's bring them here in the DFW and Rangers and Globe Life, and let's have an unbelievable 3 weeks of college baseball to get it kicked off.
Blake Burke leading off the 5th inning here for Tennessee. He's 0 for 2. And facing Derek Bridges for the first time. Bridges came in relief of Robinson in the 4th inning. The start tonight for the Red Raiders, right-hander Kyle Robinson, 3 2/3. 3 runs given up, 2 of those earned. Finishes with 4 strikeouts. Took him 83 pitches to get through 3 2/3 innings. That's fouled back for strike 2.
Well, that's a tough arm angle for left-handed hitters, what Bridges is doing. If you watch his delivery, Brant, that left hand's coming out way over towards the first base dugout, and he creates a little bit of angle, and it comes back across those left-handed hitters' right shoulder, putting a little pressure on him. Be anxious to see that he's gone in if he tries to throw that breaker away now. And even to the right-handed hitters, when he was a minute ago with Hensley, he was throwing that thing. That ball was moving right to left, a little bit of sink. Watch this delivery right here. Gets way over there to the side, a little 3/4 left-handed. Tough on those left-handed hitters.
And Burke fists that one foul. Going opposite way.
I think he missed his spot. I think the last 2 pitches, I think he was trying to run that ball away, and he missed in. And Burke doing what he does is foul off ball after ball after ball.
Burke, Moore, Peebles batting for Tennessee here in the 5th inning. The Volunteers team ranked 9th in the country coming into the start of the year, and picked 4th in the SEC East. This tells you about the depth and the strength of the Southeastern Conference, just how good baseball is there. Remarkable. Reigning national champion LSU.
Well, you could just keep naming team after team after team that are power out of the SEC right now, and in Big 12 as well. And I just, you know, you think about Omaha and who's played, and it's a great picture of Tony Vitello right there, and you see that intensity in his face, and he's locked in there ready.
Well, Derek Bridges locked in there, strikes out Burke, who strikes out for a second time. Burke's 0 for 3, one down to the 5th inning.
Brand, he sets his pitch up with those 7 fastballs he threw in, and he finally locates and gets that breaker running away from him. Starts on a line away from him and just cuts right back across the plate. That's a big-time pitch to a great hitter.
And that's going to be it for Bridges. The only 2 batters he faced in the game struck them both out, Hunter Inslee and Blake Burke. And Tim Tadlock will make a bullpen call here, trying to keep this a 3-0 game with the heart of the order batting here for Tennessee. We'll step aside. Red Raiders making their second call to the bullpen, trailing Tennessee 3-0 on Flow Sports. So Tim Tadlock has gone to the bullpen for a second time. Into the game now, Isaiah Rhodes, senior with this Red Raider program. A year ago, Isaiah Rhodes, 18 2/3 innings for the Red Raiders. I beg your pardon, Isaiah Rhodes, actually first year at Texas Tech, came to the program, transferring in from Southern Miss, so a former Sun Belt Conference pitcher. Now pitching for the Big 12 program out of Lubbock.
He's going to step right into the fire. Again, I want to go back for a second and talk about Bridges stuff. He comes in, faces the 2 guys, kind of pauses the game for Tech. Gives them a chance to just, hey, now we're going to go in there to the bullpen and get Rhodes in there now to go, still in the middle of the heat of their lineup for Tennessee. But I got to like what Bridges showed in that little arm action, that arm angle from the left side, particularly tough on those left-handed hitters.
And making his Red Raider debut. And the first pitch to Christian Moore. Well, the changeup is low, 1 ball to no strikes. Moore with a single today. A 2-out single that came back in the first inning. Breaking ball in there for strike 1.
He too got a little bit lower arm action. It's like Bridges. Bridges was maybe a little bit lower from the left side. See Rose, his hand kind of go out there just outside his right shoulder. Ball's got good run to it. That ball running away from the from the right-handed hitter with that little slider.
Again, Rhodes, first year from Southern Miss, but from Texas out of McKinney. Not too far here from Arlington. In the air, right field, and that ball is going to land foul. A ball and 2 strikes to Christian Moore. Each team trying to start their year 1-0. The teams that have won so far today, Nebraska and Oregon. And both the Cornhuskers and Ducks got great pitching. It's Oregon that we saw tie in the last game. The bullpen for the Ducks, excellent.
I mean, they boasted about it, right? I'm not bragfully, but they were talking about how excited their bullpen was. They felt like they had the depth. They felt like they could match people up. Remember, he even said, you know, that they didn't sure. Hey, we don't know who's going to get the last 3 outs. We'll see who, you know, fits or matches up that team at that time. And they came in and just pelted the strike zone.
Big theme for the coaches, for all the teams coming in, how again with their guys handle the atmosphere, playing at a big league ballpark, the fans, the turnout, a regional-like environment. And again, Ty, nothing beats the feeling like opening day as that's popped up and caught by Bazell. Moore retired for the second out. Good play by Bazell. But back to opening day, Ty, you said it. You've been around the game for a long time as a player, Texas, longtime coach at Texas State. Been involved with broadcast now for a number of years. For you, what does opening day mean?
Well, I mean, as a coach, you tried to play it off a little bit, like it's opening day, but it's 55 more after this one, and but the reality was you couldn't play it off very long because it's a special day. It's one time a year that you get to feel that way. And you know, we talked in the earlier game about how it was, you know, a lot more high fives, a lot more handshakes and hugs because it is opening day. I always thought it was special, and you know, I thought it was special for the players to get their rewarded for their work, you know, and everything they've been doing to get to that moment, coaches included, and it's just special. And it's been a special day out here for us.
That ball is popped up high in the air and tracked down by Green in right. Peebles retired, and that'll do it for the Volunteers at the top of the 5th. But Tennessee will turn the ball back over to A.J. Russell. Right now pitching a shutout. It's 3-0 Tennessee. The Shriners Children's College Showdown unites athletic excellence and the most amazing care anywhere. Shriners Children's is dedicated to improving the lives of children around the world. All care is provided regardless of a family's ability to pay. To learn more, visit shrinerschildrens.org today. We're now lucky to be joined in the booth by Dylan, the Shriners Children's hero representing Texas Tech. So Dylan, welcome to the broadcast. How are you enjoying the game of the day so far?
Oh, this is going great. It's been a great, fantastic experience.
I know as a Red Raider fan and the honorary team captain, you wish the score were a little bit better, but what have you got to know about being around this Texas Tech program?
They're all really good guys. They're just taking care of me, you know. Took me in like my son almost.
Telling your story a little bit, Dylan, I understand that you've been going to Shriners Children's in Texas for the last 15 years, since you were 13 months old. Tell us about your journey.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, let me put it this way to you, Dylan. How great has the reception been for you at Shriners? How much have they meant to you, everybody that's been a part of Shriners Children's Hospital?
They've took me in like family. I've never had to worry or anything. My parents, they've been right there with me. They just took us in. It's just nice. They're really good people.
And is your family here with you today?
Yes, they are.
You want to give a shout out to them? Mom, Dad, who's all here for you?
My mom, my dad, my brother's here, my uncle's here. It's cool. We're all here having a great time.
So again, understand you spent some time with the Red Raiders baseball program. What was that experience like for you? I see they gave you a jersey, by the way. That's really cool.
So I went there, I think on a Friday or a Saturday. They just they gave me a full tour of their facility. I got to look everywhere. They took me in. I got to play catch with a few of them. Got to meet Coach Tadlock. He's great. They're all real good guys. It was just a great experience.
Also understand that one of the individuals you got to meet, Josh Young, used to play at Texas Tech. Of course, now he's a World Series champion playing for the Texas Rangers. What was that experience like for you meeting Josh Young?
That was great. I loved that. I think it was a coincidence that he was there, but one of the guys, we were walking through their facility, he asked me if I knew who that was, and I had no idea because I just saw the back of his head. And then a little while later, we were on the field, and they pointed out and told me who it was, and I went over there, had a little moment, asked him to sign in my ball, and that was a blast. It was really surprising, but I loved it.
What a really cool moment. And by the way, I don't think the Red Raiders are going to want you to leave the booth because the inning starts with a leadoff walk here to Cade McGee. So you're a good luck charm right now for Texas Tech.
Oh, yeah.
Brings up Owen Washburn now for the Red Raiders, trying to get something going here against A.J. Russell, and takes a strike. It is 0-1.
I don't think he's been in the stretch since the first inning, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, or if he has, it maybe one along the way, but.
And Ty, you're right. It's the second base runner that Russell has given up. The only other was a two-out single to Kevin Bazell back in the first inning.
Dylan, I got to ask, were you a Tech fan before all this took place? You've always been a Tech fan?
I followed them a little bit, but definitely after this experience, I followed them a lot closer.
I don't blame you. I tell you what, they're led by a great head coach, and you brought it up too, just, you know, how engaging the players were with you and how much of a difference they made for you. It's something you'll take with you, right? Memory-wise, and have with you the rest of your life.
Absolutely.
Right now, Russell facing Washburn. That's fouled away. Remains a ball and 2 strikes.
I don't know, Dylan. I know you've been paying attention to the game, and you've seen how hard A.J. Russell's been throwing, and his velo's been up to 97. He's got a lot of strikeouts. I'm not sure I'd want to go in there tonight and face this guy.
Oh, no. I think I've seen 97 from him. That's fast.
So, Dylan, again, you've been to the Red Raiders Park in Lubbock. What about the experience here at a big league ballpark? How much have you enjoyed this facility here?
Oh, this facility is incredible. I got the tour yesterday. I don't even know what to say. It's amazing.
That is a base hit to right. The Red Raiders have 2 on. Nobody out in the 5th inning, and putting together a little bit of a rally here against Russell. And again, I think, Dylan, you have a lot to do with that, the good luck charm. But we can't thank you enough for being up in the booth here with us, Dylan. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us, and look forward to the rest of the game.
Yes, sir.
All right, that again, Dylan, the Red Raiders honorary team captain
And good luck charm right now.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all.
And that's going to lead to a meeting on the mound here for Tennessee. First time A.J. Russell's got himself into some trouble here. A walk to McGee. Washburn with a base hit. And Ty, now second time through the order. The bottom half of this order, maybe figuring something out against Russell.
I mean, they started to foul some balls off. He elevated them a little bit. That's what I meant by that. They were able to get to him. I think he missed with a handful of pitches. But, you know, when you get into that third time through a lineup, you start to recognize different things, rotation, the rhythm of his delivery, a lot of different things. And again, also, we're talking about a guy that had been a reliever a good portion of a year ago, and, you know, trying to get him extended out. And then you see Frank Anderson, the pitching coach, come out and go talk to them at the mound and try to settle him down just a little bit. I tell you what, Brad, when you watch a guy like Frank Anderson walk out there, there's a lot of experience in college baseball going out to that mound to talk to him and try to calm him down a little bit.
The pitch count now for Russell up to 71. 51 of those strikes. So after the visit from Coach Anderson, Russell going to work to face off against Damian Bravo. And Bravo swings away and comes up empty. Ty, would you have considered a bunt situation here?
I think a lot of people would have considered it. I do. I think it would have been, you know, put a runner 90 feet away in scoring position. You'd start to think about it, but reality is you're chasing runs.
Fly ball to right field, and that is a foul. No, it's a fair ball. Fair ball. And now the Red Raiders caught between the bases, and this is an out between first and second. So Bravo is thrown out, running between the bases. There was a little bit of confusion if that was fair or foul. Tennessee, you see the players signaling for a review here. And let's see.
Yeah, what they want to review, I'm pretty sure. They're wanting to review whether the runner from second passed the runner at third or vice versa, because there were a lot of guys, the runner that was on second he should have been going halfway or getting off there and read that and been able to score. But instead, when we see the replay, I think they're going to, I mean, obviously the easiest thing was give them that we're going to go look at it. Yeah, they're going to go look at it. So I'm not 100% sure, Brent, but I know when I look back, I was watching the ball. Watch this. That's a good piece of hitting right there, ball down the line. And I don't think we're going to be able to see it, but the confusion started on the bases, and then actually Tennessee obviously benefits from this. So I'm not so sure if the runner from second got past them or what they're checking for at this point.
You did see Burke kind of react, putting his hands up as if he thought that was a foul ball.
Yeah.
Now the angle we got there, that's not definitive for either of the questions that we have. Is it fair, foul, or did Bravo run past Washburn?
Well, as you're looking at the screen right now, you can see Frank Anderson out discussing, because they're talking about where do you put runners. And that is a very confusing thing to try to sort out sometimes. Now, at that angle, it's hard for us to really tell if it was foul or fair. You can see the Tech fans all saying it was fair.
So the call to field, it is a fair ball, and the runner Bravo was ruled out as he was tagged out.
Yeah, I mean, we've got one out, now runners on second and third. Obviously a little unfortunate for Tech at that point. It easily could have and, you know, should have had at least bases loaded, and probably, to be honest with you, you know, if they'd been able to react a little bit differently, you would have had runners on second, third, and a run in at this point. The way that ball, or for sure, first and third with a run in.
So the call stands. Bravo was out. There's Washburn. He's at second. Cade McGee at third. Again, Tech threatening here in the fifth. And here comes Tony Vitello. And that's going to lead to a change here for Tennessee. A.J. Russell, what an opening day start. Russell tonight for the Volunteers, 10 strikeouts in 4 1/3 innings of work, but his night is done. The Vols go to the bullpen, leading 3-0, but with Texas Tech threatening here in the bottom of the fifth. Dylan, thanks again for joining us, and enjoy the rest of the game.
Oh, yes, thank you.
You got it. We're back after this on Flow Sports with Tennessee clinging to a 3-run lead. So we go from one A.J. to another, from Russell to Causey. And this for A.J. Causey, his Tennessee debut a year ago, was the Friday night starter at Jacksonville State. Now here he is coming out of the bullpen for Tennessee, trying to preserve a 3-0 lead. A look back, though, at A.J. Russell after Coach Vitello took him out of the game. An opening day start for Russell tonight. Unable to get out of the fifth, but tie 10 strikeouts for his opening day start.
Yeah, that's a lot of pitches. When you strike guys out, you're, you know, obviously minimum 3 and sometimes on average using 5. And so there was a lot of pitches from him. It was an exhausting outing. They've got a great bullpen. They got good depth. I mean, look, a Friday night guy from Jacksonville State come rolling out on the mound right here with a little bit of an arm angle too, just like we saw with the last 2 Texas Tech guys. So he's going to try to create some ground ball work. And that's a good-looking fastball. That's a 90-plus fastball with your arm just hanging right out of your right shoulder right there with a little tilt to it, making that ball shape up from left to right with a little sink.
And there are the runners at second and third base. Amick playing in from third. It's out of play. Very interesting inning, by the way. Russell walks the leadoff man, Cade McGee. Washburn the base hit to right, and then Damian Bravo hit a ball into the corner that there was some question if it was fair or foul. You saw the fielders and the base runners kind of hesitate. It led to a base running out in between first and seconds as Harrelson looks at strike 3 and strikes out for the second time tonight.
That pitch was a tough pitch. Looking the ball away from him a little bit. We'll get another look at it, whether it was on or off the plate, but try to foul that ball off maybe, but you're really hoping with 1 out just to roll a ball, worst case scenario, at least get a run, cut that lead down a little bit. I'll tell you what, he came up with a big time pitch.
And so, 1 batter in, Causey has a strikeout, swing and a miss from TJ Pompey. Red Raiders' best scoring chance of the night. Runner second and third, but now 2 down. That's a miss on the breaking ball. 1-1 from Causey. Pitch count for Russell got up to 73 with all those strikeouts. Now both starters done in this game. Fouled away and a high fly ball.
Causey's fastball's got really good action to it right now, Brant. It's got a lot of life. You can imagine his adrenaline's going right now too. I mean, he's excited about being there. He's got a little extra on that, on his release, a little more energy in his lower half. And I'll tell you what, that ball's coming out of his hand nice and easy right now.
That ball hit well towards center field. Inslee on the run, not going to get there. Rolls all the way to the wall. The Red Raiders are on the board. On his way to third, Poppy. How about that for your first hit at Texas Tech? A 2-run triple. It's a 1-run game.
Well, he splits a breaker right in the middle of the plate, stays on it with a great approach. Maybe almost looking for that breaker. Brant trying to hit it the other way. And I mean, he lands all over the top of that ball and drives it in there for a triple. A little bit tougher angle. The center fielder trying to cut that ball off, maybe make a great play and hold him to a single. But what a great piece of hitting that breaker the other way to score 2 to put Tech on the board. Cut that run down to, cut that lead down to 1.
Again, Tim Tadlock really excited about this freshman class. TJ Poppy, a top 100 recruit in the nation. And that is his first big Red Raider moment, a 2-run triple. Both runs charged to Russell. And now the tying run 90 feet away for Tracer Lopez. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You got to know, Pompey, when he hit that ball, he felt like he was probably floating around those bases, moving so fast, excited. First college hit. This team needed a big hit right there, and he delivered.
Echoing something we've talked about at length in our coverage here today, going back to the Oklahoma-Oregon game, 2 out hitting. Clutch it there for Poppy. Lopez a batter here. He's 0 for 2. Gonna bounce foul. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, that 2-out hit right there might be the biggest one we've seen today. I mean, Tech was at a moment where they'd gotten the starter out, Russell, out of the game. They go to the bullpen, get a call 3rd strike with 1 out, and that was a critical moment. Not just momentum, but obviously the score.
Texas Tech led the Big 12 in triples last year, hit 19. That is the first of 2024. One of the top scoring teams in the country last year. Swing and a miss. Second strikeout for Causey. But the Red Raiders have done their damage, courtesy of the freshman TJ Pompey. His first big moment for Texas Tech is a 2-run triple. 3-2 Tennessee at the end of 5. Back with the top of the 6th on Flow Sports in Arlington.
Watch me. Watch me jump, dive, and splash. Put me by a pool, I'll be soaked in a flash. A girl in the water to swim like a fish. Just 2 simple legs. That was my wish. I'm a sea turtle, shark, a seal on a slide. This is my day of fun, with nothing to hide. Watch me. Pioneers in orthotic and prosthetic technology at Shriners Children's. The most amazing care anywhere.
Protecting what matters most is the mission that matters most. At Lockheed Martin, we know today's threats come from behind, above, and below. And we make sure those who serve stay ahead of them by connecting platforms necessary to dominate every domain across air, land, sea, space, and cyber, using technologies that protect in the same moment they detect. The mission is a safer, more secure world. Our promise is to help make it happen.
A look at the Volunteer fans in attendance catching this opening day game. And Tennessee's on top of the end of 5, heading into the 6th, 3-2 balls, 1-run lead. Red Raider fans, something more to be excited about after the big 2-out, 2-run triple to make this a 1-run game. Meanwhile, Tim Tadlock's gone back to the bullpen. 4th pitcher of the game being used by the Red Raiders. And now is a junior from Waldwick, New Jersey, Brendan Lysick.
he needs to come in and text mine and put up a 0 to how to give. The offense just had a tremendous battle, and really Brent took something that was almost a negative with the ball hit down the line. They get the guy thrown out, and with 2 outs, they come up with a big time hit by Pompey, and so now they've got to try to do their best, get out there, put a 0 up, keep the momentum in their dugout.
Leading off the 6th here for Tennessee, Billy Amick. Last time up went opposite away, a 2-run homer off the foul pole. So each team a 2-run base hit tonight. It's fouled away. The numbers for Leipzig last year: 11 appearances, sub at 3.5 ERA. Not a ton of work though, just 10 2/3. And finished with 7 strikeouts last year. Way behind Amick there. Brant Freeman, Ty Harrington, glad to have you with us on this Friday night of opening day. A lot of excitement around the country for a brand new season of college baseball. Got 2 teams here ranked in the top 25.
Oh, have we seen some good arms today? I mean, this, you know, a lot of velo, but even beyond the velo, the action on their fastballs, their secondary pitches. I mean, this has been impressive, to say the least. You get hit, if you're hitting the ball today, you're doing something special, because these guys again, and Lysak's the same way. He's coming in, he's got some electric in his arm right now as well.
Amick fights that one off and got a piece of himself in the process. And he's going to need a second. So many great hitters have come through the Tennessee program. As you look back here, what Amick did to himself. And
oh, that got him on the knee, did it not? That hit above the...
I think just above that shin guard.
Looked like he's bothered him, and I'd be down for the count, but it don't look like it's bothered him. He's ready to go.
So again, so many great hitters, and perhaps the greatest to come through Knoxville, Todd Helton, former Volunteer legend, longtime pro, namely with the Colorado Rockies, was recently selected to be inducted into the Pro Baseball Hall of Fame. But what's crazy about that, as the count feels 3-2, SEC baseball has been incredible for a long time. Helton is only the 2nd SEC player ever to be inducted into the Pro Baseball Hall of Fame. The only other, Frank Thomas, class of 2014, a former Auburn Tiger. That ball smoked to left, and a base hit off the glove of Pompey. A missile hit by Amick. And he's aboard to start the 6th inning.
Oh, I mean, he just smashed that baseball. Pompey, I'm not sure. If that had been me, I'd have been out there in self-defense trying to get out of the way of that. That ball was really hit hard. Good looking swing. I tell you what, Brent, that's 2 good swings, obviously, for that young man today, making his presence felt in the Vols lineup. But going back to what you were talking about, the Hall of Fame, the SEC baseball has been good for a long time. There's no question about it. But over the last 10 to 20 years, it's really elevated itself. And so you're going to see more Hall of Famers in the very near future, without any doubt, coming out of the SEC schools. But congratulations, Todd. I mean, obviously, I got a chance to watch him play in college, and then obviously professionally as well. And he's a great ambassador for how you want to play the game and how you want to work the game, and obviously a tremendous, successful baseball player.
Third at-bat tonight for Dylan Dreiling. Impressive freshman campaign last year for Tennessee at .295. A lot of power last year as well, going opposite way here, and that's a fair ball. Amick on his way to third base. Bravo tracks it down. Amick into third. Dreiling is second with a double, and here comes Tennessee.
It's a good piece of hitting. I think it was an elevated fastball. He just kind of inside out. Look at him. Yes, sir. Just sits back there, insides that out. Watch this the other way. Elevated, allows you to hit it over the defender's head. I'm sure they'd love to have that pitch back and drive that down into the zone a little bit more. That's a great piece of hitting. And now Tennessee trying to answer back what Tech did the inning before.
And that's going to get some activity in the Red Raiders bullpen. Or actually, there was already activity going on. Tim Tadlock going to the mound, and it looks like he's going to make a change. So a new pitcher coming in now for the Red Raiders, trailing by 1, but Tennessee threatening. 2 on and nobody out. That's going to bring in the right-hander Josh Sanders for the Red Raiders. And that's it for Lysick. Runners second and third for the Vols. Nobody out of the 6th inning. Tennessee looking to add to a 1-run lead as the Red Raiders make a call to the bullpen here in Arlington. All right, Tennessee on top 3-2. Here are the big hits in this game in the Shriners Children's College Showdown. Billy Amick, opposite away off the foul pole, a 2-run shot in the 4th inning, his first home run in a Volunteers uniform, the first-year transfer from Clemson. Vols led 3-zip in the 5th inning, but then the game changed a bit. TJ Pompey, the freshman, his first hit as a Red Raider is a triple and drives in 2. And cuts this to a 1-run game. However, Tennessee in a position to add the lead. 2 on, nobody outs, and a pitching change now made for the Red Raiders.
Well, Tech did a good job with Pompey with that 2-out hit, getting them back in there, and then we don't know if Tennessee's going to score right now or not, but they've certainly put themselves in position you just mentioned with runners on second and third with 2 really good at bats. And now, if you're Tech, this will be interesting to see with down 1 and yet nobody out. Do you play your infield up, or do you play them back in the middle? Now they'll be up on the corners, but I'm curious if they're going to decide to hold them back, because sometimes when you move them up, you can roll a ball through there, and now you're chasing 2 more runs as opposed to maybe just 1 with a ground ball to short. So we'll see how they play it defensively.
A look at Josh Sanders out of the bullpen for the Red Raiders. 3-1 record a year ago in 2023. 19 appearances in relief. More than 27 innings of work. 16 strikeouts, ERA over 6 for Tim Tadlock. But did have some pretty big moments last year. One of those, a 1-2-3 9th inning in the regional against UConn. Also in this stadium last year against Oklahoma in the Big 12 tournament, had a perfect 7th, 8th, and 9th inning against the Sooners, picking up a win. Villeneuve, the batter for Tennessee, a swing and a miss, or actually got a pinch hitter up here for the Vols. And up the plate for Tennessee, it's Dalton Bargo, sophomore from Omaha, a former Missouri Tiger. And that gets a piece of him. So Bargo was on to load the bases.
It looked like he just kind of ran that breaker in there just a little too far, and he wasn't willing to get out of the way, and he was willing to take that. And now if you tag, I'm going to be honest with you, if you come back and you throw strikes right here, you've at least, if you're looking for the positive side of that, you've given yourself a forced chance here that even if it's a ground ball to third or back to the pitcher, you got a chance to turn a double play and keep them from possibly scoring a run.
Here's Tears, a big cut. Tavares Tears has scored a run. He's 0 for 2. And they're looking at the bases loaded. Amick at third, Dreiling at second base, and now Bargo at first. Another swing and a miss, 0-2.
I tell you what, well, you're pushed back in the middle right now, so you're trying that 2 for 1. You're going to try to trade 2 for 1. The guy at third baseman and your pitcher have a chance to throw to home plate and try to double them up and cut the run off. Sometimes, if it was a right-handed hitter, you would see the first baseman come up. It would be tighter for a ball off the end of the bat and maybe go to home plate with. You can see how everybody's depth to the pool side. Second baseman, first baseman, shortstop are deep. Third baseman's over in the cut towards the 5.5 hole to be able to cover some ground.
Big strikeout there for Sanders. And out the Red Raiders needed. Tears strikes out for the second time.
Well, Brant, this is a good-looking breaker, down and in breaker. He's been running that fastball away from him, that hard fastball 92, and then he comes back with that breaker on that same line. Now you're in a situation where you got a right-handed hitter. Your third baseman is going to decide how it's hit. If it's hit towards second to try to turn the double play, or if it's hit at him or soft, he'll go to the plate.
Strike one to Bracculori. Not the 9-hole hitter here for Tennessee. Laurie, a first-year JUCO transfer. First game with the Volunteers. And falls behind 0-2.
Well, you got to take a chance right here to get him to chase, whether it's an elevated fastball, a breaker. You got to put, if you do go to your breaker, you got to put your faith in your catcher back there that Basil's going to take care of it and block it, or Bazel's going to block it.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Sanders. Laurie down looking, and Texas Tech 1 out away from wriggling off the hook.
Throws him with a fastball, Brant. He was trying to go up and away, and that ball actually kind of ran back into the middle, but challenged him. He was looking for something secondary, soft right there. Boy, he ran that fastball. Now he's one pitch away from getting out of this.
And now to the top of the Tennessee order. Here's Inslee. Hitless so far with 2 strikeouts. That's low for ball 1. Starts him off with a breaking ball.
Well, it's never an easy chore, even after you've gotten 2 consecutive strikeouts. Now they flip that order to the top of the order to Inslee.
Hard of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I love the action on that fastball. It's a 91, 92 mile an hour fastball with good late explosion, good life to it.
You got arguably the biggest moment of the game so far. Tennessee loaded the bases, nobody out. Texas Tech just got 2 runs. Trying to keep it a 1-run game. This is going to be a tough play. Charging in from third, McGee. The throw is in time for the outs. Cade McGee. What a play from third base. Josh Sanders elated going into the dugout. And the Red Raiders escape the top of the 6th unscathed. The Vols load the bases. Nobody comes home to score. Good pitching, better defense. 3-2. Volunteers on top, going into the bottom of the 6th from Globe Life Field in Arlington.
You're so much more than just a landowner. You're a gardener, a groundskeeper, and a landscaper. That's why you need versatile, durable Kubota equipment.
Sometimes you just need a little wonderful in your life. So why not go to a place made for it? Arlington, Texas. Come see for yourself why Arlington is a world of wonderful.
Kane Brown in the Air Tour. Saturday, September 14th, Globe Life Field. Special guests, Cole Swindell, Locash, and Ray Lynn. Crossover superstar Kane Brown Live. So thank God I get to on sale now at KaneBrownMusic.com. Presented by AEG Presents.
Watch me. Watch me tumble, jump, and soar. When our squad is on point, we own the floor. Dazzling stunts and dances are my jam. Pain once caused issues, but they had a plan. A life-changing brace with no surgery to fear. Activity without limits, one more reason to cheer. Watch me. Industry-leading scoliosis treatment at Shriners Children's. The most amazing care anywhere.
You get the sense the momentum is teetering in Texas Tech's favor. Red Raiders got a clutch 2-out, 2-run triple in the bottom of the 5th from TJ Poppy. Tennessee loads of bases in the top of the 6th with nobody out. But Josh Sanders able to pitch out of trouble, no-run score. It is a 3-2 game going into the bottom of the 6th, and Texas Tech batting again.
Well, we'll see if that momentum stays in the Red Raider dugout, but they certainly earned it coming up with a 2-out hit, as you just mentioned, and then pitching out of that jam. You saw the excitement and the energy that Tech pitchers had and Sanders had and their defense had. And nice play to end that inning to get them out of there. And it's baseball, I'm telling you, but it's just it is a game of momentum in different ways and being able to keep it in your dugout, but this game is just crazy here once in a while.
Austin Green leading off the 6th here for the Red Raiders. Kevin Bazell, Gavin Cash also to hit, facing A.J. Causey for the first time. Could be a chance here for Tim Tadlock's team to come back and tie the game or do more. And that is a sharply hit ground ball to Amick. Plays that well on a better throw across the diamond. And the 2 third basemen in this game have just made back-to-back pretty good plays.
Yep, they sure did. This ball was hit harder than you think it was. And that ball was hit hard, and they made a great play. Now watch the emotion right here. Look at this. You don't love college baseball? Look at this right here. It isn't just football and basketball. I'm going to tell you what, that's fun to watch. Those guys are locked in, and they're competing, and they're ready to win and carry that emotion into that dugout with them.
Here's Kevin Bazell. And Ty, I think one of the things you always say, college baseball is like 4th and goal.
It is.
Right?
Yeah.
You know, the big leagues you play 162. Here you play 56.
Well, it's like 4th and 1 on your 30 or your 40-yard line when you're playing these games. I mean, there's you know, 56 of them, and the competition part of it, you try to look at big picture, but the reality is it's like 4th and 1, and you got to try to win every one of them you can because you're trying to get RPI and you're trying to win championships. You're trying to position yourself for regional play, and there's so many things that go into it. But if you can get those guys to react like those Red Raiders guys just right there, every 55 more after tonight, you got yourself a winner for sure.
Got him looking. A.J. Causey with his 3rd strikeout after relieving A.J. Russell. Between those two, a baker's dozen, 13 punch-outs tonight.
Well, I mean, just watch that ball. Watch how much that thing is moving. starts off the plate almost, Brant, and then runs back. I mean, it's just, we have seen, we've already talked about it, and how many different arms we've seen tonight, and different types of arms we've seen tonight. Different arm actions and arm angles, but all of them with the explosive fastballs.
That ball hit on the ground at first. And how about A.J. Causey facing the heart of the order, Green, Bazell, and Cash, and retires them in order. We are through 6, heading into the 7th. 3-2 Tennessee. You're watching the Shriners Children's College Showdown on Flow Sports. The great ballparks here in Major League Baseball, hosting this year's Shriners Children's College Showdown. Globe Life Field, which will host 2 more tournaments over the next 2 weeks. Next week, the programs here: Arkansas, Oklahoma State, Michigan, Oregon State. As we start the 7th inning, a swing and miss strike. Weekend after that, TCU, Texas A&M, USC, and Arizona State. A lot of high-quality baseball being played here in Arlington. Blake Burke leading off the 7th inning, and grounds to Lopez at second. Burke is 0 for 4 in opening night.
Well, he hit that ball pretty well, too. I mean, that's one of those things about baseball. If he hits it 4 or 5 feet one direction or another, it might get through for a base hit. But the good news is, for Sanders, he could run in that ball, kept it down, which allowed him to maybe hit that ball down on the ground like he did for an out. And maybe taking some of that emotion back out to the field with him as well.
Here's Christian Moore. Got a base hit in his first at-bat since then, 0 for 2. 17 home runs, drove in 50 last year for Tennessee. A preseason 3rd-team All-American. And one of the Volunteers named to the Golden Spikes Award watch list. Led this program in total bases last year. Oh, 2. Sinker misses high.
Did I read that right, where there were multiple Volunteer players that were on the watch list?
3 of them.
Wow. That's impressive.
Knoxville has attracted some talent in recent years. It's fouled away by Moore. Again, it's a team that lost a good number of players in this past year. but they have locked and reloaded here in 2024. The #1 priority, talking to Coach Tony Vitello, adding arms to the pitching staff. But when noting the transfers, like Amick, Villeneuve, says that, you know, some of the guys they've added into the lineup have transitioned seamlessly to the program. It's almost like they've been here for 3 years.
That's got to do with leadership, and then it's also got to do with who you're bringing in to that leadership mode, as you've seen getting with that breaker running away. And what I mean by that is, Brett, you've got to have great leadership in your program, culture in your program. As we get another look at this, watch him run this breaker away from, boy, it's just so hard to stand up. That's a 3/4 arm slot breaker with great depth. And what I mean by that, ball's moving not only right to left, but with a lot of depth going down towards the ground. But again, I think it speaks about the culture of that team and that organization, that program, that guys can fit in and plug in that quick.
That ball hit well deep to right field, and Peebles has flown out to the wall. Well, the park just held that. Cannon Peebles gave that a ride, but the catch made by Green with little room to spare. So, Sanders threw the Volunteers in order. Time to stretch in a 1-run game.
Watch me. Watch me shine with every snap. Born to move fans, to cheer and clap. 2 different legs, that's how I play. One built from science to help me on the day. Between these lines, I'm all heart and muscle. Don't stare too long, you'll miss the hustle. Watch me. Pioneers in prosthetic technology at Shriners Children's. The most amazing care anywhere.
Globe Life Field is your home for college baseball with 3 full weekends of action starting February 16th at the home of the Texas Rangers. It all starts with the Shriners Children's College Showdown presented by Kubota, featuring Baylor, Texas Tech, Oklahoma, Oregon, Tennessee, and Nebraska. Next is the Kubota College Baseball Series with Arkansas, Oklahoma State, Michigan, and Oregon State in Weekend 2, and TCU, Texas A&M, Arizona State, and USC for Weekend 3. To get tickets and learn more, visit globelifefield.com/collegebaseball.
You're so much more than just a landowner. You're a gardener, a groundskeeper, and a landscaper. That's why you need versatile, durable Kubota equipment.
3-2 Tennessee. You see a Josh Young jersey in the stands here. Of course, Josh Young, a former Red Raider great. He and his brother Jace both coming through the program for Tim Tadlock, and both players still very much around the program as well. So Josh won a World Series ring with the Rangers this past fall, also named an All-Star this past year. And Jace, the younger of the two, a couple of years ago, a first-round pick of the Detroit Tigers. But when you talk to Tim Tadlock about the two of them, say they are great examples for others that come through this program. The type of program that they have established here, the standard, the young brothers really display a lot of that.
Well, you want to talk about development? You want to hang your hat on the fact that you can come to Lubbock, Texas, and Coach Tadlock and his staff can develop not only championships and going to Omaha, but can develop guys that are going to be first rounders and guys that are going to go play, you know, and have an impact like they did, this, you know, with the Rangers this year and being world championships. I mean, it's part of it. If you can recruit players, but you got to be able to develop them, and they're certainly able to do that. And I'll tell you something about those young brothers. Those guys can play defense. Now everybody loves them and knows them for their hitting. Go watch those guys play defense.
The two are off with their big league franchises to get ready for the coming year, as McGee gets a piece of that. So Jace just reported to the Tigers for spring training earlier in the week. Josh has been with the Rangers a bit longer, but in the offseason, the two of them spent a lot of time in Lubbock. And in fact, the brothers share a house together back in Lubbock.
They could live wherever they want to. They could go back to San Antonio. That tells you a little bit about what they like about the program. Their friends, their buddies, their players, and the coaches I just think it speaks volumes when you got guys that are big leaguers and guys that are professional players like that want to come back to your facility and work out, want to be around your program, and want to be around your community and the town and your university where they went to school.
Saw Christian Moore make that play from shortstop for Tennessee, and that was a big question for Coach Vitello coming into the year, who the everyday shortstop would be. Did say that Moore would be in the mix for that. And of course, getting the opening day start at that position here tonight. Here's Owen Washburn. And strike one pumped in by A.J. Causey. Talk about the Youngs, again, being in the big leagues. Of course, Washburn, some big league family ties. That's a scorcher off of Causey's glove. Throw to first base. It's wild. Bounces off the Red Raider dugout, and Washburn is safe at first and represents a tying run.
I think that's going to be scored, a base hit. This ball is scorched back up the middle and almost just in a defensive mode, gets his glove up, knocks it down. It's got a chance, but once you turn your back like that, I mean, trying to find the first baseman and do it in time, and I think it was a base hit all the way and a good swing on the ball.
And it has in fact been scored as an infield base hit for Washburn's second hit today. Talked about him and his big league background and his family. His dad, Jared, former World Series champion. Washburn brothers now at Texas Tech, Jack and Owen. Another Red Raider, Landon Stripling, his uncle Ross, has been a big league all-star with the LA Dodgers. What a nice pick there by Causey on a line drive, and Washburn unable to get back to first base. An easy double play turn by Tennessee. So A.J. Causey flashing his leather off the mound for the Volunteers. And it keeps this a one-run game at the end of 7. 3-2. Tennessee on top. Coming back to the plate after this on Flow Sports.
Watch me. Watch me paddle, carve, and drop in. The water is my canvas. Let the good times begin. Perfect sets and barrels I chase. Where sand becomes surf, waves set the pace. A childhood accident couldn't ruin my vibes. Thanks to one special place, I've never been more alive. Watch me. Shriners Children's. The most amazing care anywhere.
Elevate your ballpark experience with a tour of Globe Life Field and experience the home of the Texas Rangers like never before. Go behind the scenes and explore premium spaces, unique club settings, luxury suites, and more. Along the way, you'll discover rich history, impressive architecture, and fun photo opportunities around every corner. Globe Life Field's many tour offerings are sure to take your ballpark visit to the next level. For more information and to book your experience, visit globelifefield.com.
With Pie Prime by Solo Stove, you can finally think outside the cardboard box. The best pizza isn't delivered to the front door. It's made in the backyard. It doesn't come from a restaurant. It comes from you. Anywhere can be your favorite pizza spot. Any day of the week, all year long. Pie Prime is the pizza oven that's simple enough to be your first and powerful enough to be your last. Pie Prime by Solo Stove.
Yep. Josh Young, as you look at the Red Raider fans here in Arlington. Again, Josh Young coming through the Texas Tech program in Lubbock. He and the Texas Rangers winning their first ever World Series title. Clinching that title against the Arizona Diamondbacks. There he is celebrating the World Series championship. So the Texas Rangers coming in as reigning world champions this year. This ballpark has now hosted 2 World Series. The one the Rangers played in again last year, and then the COVID World Series between LA and Tampa Bay in 2020. This ballpark will also host this year's Major League Baseball All-Star Game in July.
You don't think that guy right there, Tim Tadlock, getting proud of being able to sit back and watch those games and see what Josh did and help the Rangers. And Tim Tadlock said, you know, he's from right down the road as well in Denton. So I know he's been a long-time Ranger fan, I'm sure, and for him to get to share in that, I bet was truly special for a coach and a player.
New pitcher for Texas Tech. Into the game now, Jacob Rogers. 12 appearances last year as a freshman for the Red Raiders, and he's facing Billy Amick to start the 8th inning. Amick, a home run in this game, also has a single. Last year, Rogers 2-3 with a 5.48 ERA, 23 innings of work. And he is a 6th pitcher Tim Tadlock has used tonight.
When you reference the 6 pitchers, and part of it, you know, can be that if you had to take your starter out a little bit earlier or whichever it might be, but what you don't want to do with these relievers in game 1 is overexpose them, and then you can't use them again on Sunday. And so if you keep them, you keep their pitches down. All these guys that have thrown a little bit tonight, and now Bridges will be able to go tomorrow, but some of these guys you'd be able to bring them, roll them back either late in the game tomorrow to face a hit or two, but for sure by Sunday if needed.
See Bazell talking to Rogers there. Josh Sanders, the last pitcher for Texas Tech, 2 hitless, scoreless innings, 3 strikeouts, and of course he was the one that worked out of the bases loaded jam with nobody out in the 6th inning. That ball smoked to left and it's going to go foul. Good turn there by Amick, but a foul ball. 3-2.
Well, Amick's been impressive tonight. You can certainly understand why he's been a good college baseball player already, and then wanted to plug himself in here with the Volunteers. I'll tell you what, he has got a short swing. There's not a whole lot of movement, and he'll do right that there too. And he'll take a walk, not chase or expand the zone. The guy's had a good night tonight.
And so he's off at the 3rd time. A leadoff walk here for Amick. Brings up Dylan Dreiling. You see with that net right there? That's the ball that Amick had hit foul. Just kind of hung right there in that protective netting. Trying to get it. No. Wait, maybe some help. There it is. There's your souvenir. We saw one fan that make a seamless catch with a phone in the other hand earlier in the game, and then the young lady there struggling to get the ball off the net.
Yeah, that one over here in the stands was almost as good as Green's catch going up against the wall earlier in the game.
We talked about these big league ties. We're mentioning the major league fathers for Texas Tech. Well, Billy Amick's dad, former NASCAR driver.
I mean, how do you at home? I mean, how do you do it? I'm intrigued. You sit down and you got a NASCAR driver and talking to your son about hitting baseballs, and your son saying, "Well, I faced 94 today." Well, son, I drove 202 today. I mean,
Dad Linden, Amick, and also Billy's younger brother is a baseball player himself at South Alabama out of the Sun Belt Conference.
Well, we'll get to see him this year.
A walk, 2 straight given up by Rogers. Volunteers 2 on, nobody out. But tonight, Tony Vitello's team just 2 for 13 with runners on.
Yeah, and you know they don't bunt much. I mean, they like to swing, rightfully so.
When you hit close to 400 homers,
yeah,
3
that's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't bunt either.
They like to hit. They like to be aggressive. You know, swinging the bats, and we're going to see a little visit just to maybe try to Rogers calm down a little bit, get him to focus on, you know, hey, let's. Most of the time, Brant, when you go out there, it's not a mechanic thing. You really don't want to start throwing a ton of mechanics at the pitcher at that time. But Get out there and just talk to him about, here's our plan, stay with it. And you always want to try to remind them, if you can, hey, look, you're particularly in this situation, make a great pitch. You're one pitch away from getting 2 outs. Let your defense go to work for you and just slow everything down.
We've talked to Tim Tadlock, coaching at his alma mater, former player at Texas Tech in the early 90s. Well, Tony Vitello himself, a former collegiate player at Missouri, grew up in a great baseball city in St. Louis, got his coaching career started at his alma mater, working his way through the ranks. An assistant under Dave Van Horn at Arkansas, took over in Knoxville 7 years ago, and was named SEC Coach of the Year in 2022. As Tennessee won 58 games that year. And now his team threatening here, 2 on, nobody out, a swing and a miss from Bargo. Came in a pinch hit for Villeneuve back in the 6th inning. This is second at bat. Speaking of Missouri Tigers, again, Bargo, a first-year transfer from Missouri, actually had some good games against Tennessee last year. It was a series that Missouri swept.
That'll get your attention if a kid goes into the portal. If he plays good against you, I mean.
I remember you.
Yeah, hey, I remember those 3 hits you got and the homer, and it was great at bats.
Bargo, a very athletic player, stands in with a 2-ball, 1-strike count. And that's lifted foul.
This will be an interesting pitch because you got runners on first, second, nobody out. For a right-handed pitcher, you got a left-handed hitter in there. How do you go get him in a 2-2 count? What are you going to go after him with? This starts to tell a little bit about your approach. Came right back with that 93, 94 mile an hour fastball. I think that caught more of the middle of the plate than he was trying. I think he was trying to throw that fastball away. But those 2-2 pitches start to tell you, they'll start to give you some information about how a pitcher wants to get after you and how they're going to try to attack you, and it's usually their best pitch.
In the air, drifting towards foul territory again, and out of play. Tennessee, 3 runs on the board. All 3 came in the 4th inning. Highlighted by the 2-run homer hit by Amick. There he stands at second. And again, that ball heading towards foul territory on the left side, but the catch made by McGee, falling down.
Well, he wasn't going to get any help from the other team's dugout. When you go to the opposing team's dugout, they're not going to really help you a whole bunch. Does a good job of going over fundamentally, Brant. Watch him use his hand. See him sticking his hand out right there, trying to find out where he is. Starts coming back and makes the catch. He wasn't going to drop that ball in front of the other team right there.
No, and if you recall, McGee made that huge play with the bases loaded in the 6th inning. Makes the catch there for the first out here in the 8th. Kavares Tears looks at strike 1. Right now you have Rogers trying to battle back after walking the first 2 batters. Amick and Dreiling. Just got Bargo to pop up. Texas Tech trying to keep this a 1-run game. Tough to do much against this Tennessee bullpen last year. But again, the Volunteers leading right now, although they're batting, but leading after 7 a year ago, 35-0.
Isn't that something? That's locking it down. Well, I'll tell you what, now he's in a He's in a red hot count right here, a 3-1 RBI situation. And you knew when guys are their commands a little bit in and out, got a couple walks or something. As a hitter, you go, I know you're thinking, I want him to come in here with a fastball because that's his best strike pitch. So I'm going to get my swing off right here. And it's exactly what he did. Just fouled it back and missed it.
Full count to Tears. And that will load the bases. Third walk given up by Rogers. And Tennessee again threatening. Going to bring up Brad Laurie. Tim Tadlock staying in the dugout, not making a change quite yet. And the infield from the corners are coming in.
Yeah, the corners are going to come in. They're going to cut the run down at the plate. Now the middle is going to stay back and play for double plays.
There's a fly ball to center. Harrelson going to make the catch. And that's going to bring Amick home, and Tennessee on top by 2. So Bracculori does his job, brings in a run. 2-run lead, Tennessee. And now 2 outs here in the 8th inning.
Well, if you're Tennessee, you got to get those guys 90 feet from home plate in. You had the inning before, you didn't get them in. This time you capitalize with it on the bottom part of the order. Gets a fly ball, gets a sac fly to extend that lead to a 2-run lead headed in the latter part of this game.
Back at the top of the order, here's Ensley. Tough night so far, 0 for 4, a couple of strikeouts. Walks coming back to bite Rogers here in the 8th inning. 3 of them to load the bases. Sac fly later, 2-run game. That is in there for a strike. First run for Tennessee since the top of the 4th inning. A team that last year was 23rd nationally in runs scored, close to 500. That bounces in the dirt. Play the plate, not in time. 5-2 Tennessee. Dreiling scores on the pass ball. Maybe a wild pitch there against Rogers. Either way, a 3-run lead now for the Volunteers.
We've seen a handful of wild pitches today, and that one certain gets away and they're able to score a run. I think, you know, those breakers, sometimes getting used to, you know, in game situations, what they're going to do, how they're going to bounce off that dirt. But we've seen in the last 2 games it come into play.
And also moving into second base for the Volunteers. Tears now at second. A couple of programs that combined for 85 wins last year, each making the NCAA tournament. Volunteers wound up in Omaha last year. That's a base hit to left. Tears, good speed. He's around third, and the Volunteers lead by 4. 6-2 Tennessee. Inslee comes through with a 2-out base hit.
Well, we're going to get another look at this, and I mean, this is just a good swing. This is why he's a leadoff hitter for Tennessee, and he's such a good cut. Look at his short stroke right there. I mean, there's nothing, no frills to it. Direct to the baseball, drives it into left field for an RBI, and you know, you're playing with fire when you got a team like Tennessee with such good offense. But if you put guys on, I mean, it just, you know, they have so many weapons to get you with, and offensively, and you know, they, you know, with a handful of walks, and then they're able to capitalize with a sac fly, and now a single wild pitch, and then an RBI single.
So Rogers walks 3 batters in the inning. All 3 come home to score as Tim Tadlock goes to the bullpen yet again. Pitcher number 7 on the night coming in for Texas Tech, with Tennessee on top by 4, 6-2 Hudson Parker to the bullpen here for the Red Raiders. Tennessee starting to pull away a 6-2 lead in the 8th inning here in Arlington. Durability and owner experience. And Shriners Children's 6 remarkable kids have each teamed up with a participating university for the Shriners Children's College Showdown Team Fundraising Challenge. All weekend long, teams will compete to see which fan base can raise the most money in support of Shriners Children's. Go online to shrinersshowdown.com to donate in honor of your favorite team today. Well, look at Ivan Pudge Rodriguez's statue outside the ballpark here at Globe Life Field. 6-2, Volunteers on top. 3 huge insurance runs for Tennessee in the top of the 8th inning. As Red Raiders go to the bullpen yet again, Hudson Parker on the mound now for Coach Tim Tadlock. Parker, a transfer to the program from Midland Junior College, and coming up, Blake Burke for Tennessee. Again, the inning started with 3 of the first 4 batters drawing walks, and all 3 of those hitters came home to score.
Well, everybody knows that walks, if you do enough of it, they'll come back and haunt you at some point in time, and they really haunt you with a team like Tennessee. And if the roles are reversed, it'd be the same. At Texas, the same way. You just can't give those guys so many free 90s without them at some point in time making them hurt and taking advantage of it.
Burke, the 7th batter of the inning. Big swing there. Burke so far hitless, 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts. Tennessee, a year ago, played 35 non-conference games. Their record in those games, 29-6. You go back to 2019, and the Vols have an .839 win percentage in non-conference play. Another big swing from Burke, and again comes up empty.
Well, you just keep pulling stats out that are, it tells you about this program and the success they're having, but and what you're describing right now, the winning part of it, I just have had a hard time getting past the part about the almost 400 homers and 3. I mean, that just is unreal.
Pretty remarkable run for Tennessee. They scored 3 runs in this half inning. The lead has grown to 4. 6-2 Vols. Texas Tech trailing by 4, needing some runs in the bottom of the 8th.
You're so much more than just a landowner. You're a gardener, a groundskeeper, and a landscaper. That's why you need versatile, durable Kubota equipment.
Chris Stapleton's All-American Roadshow. Saturday, June 15th, Globe Life Field, with special guests Tedeschi Trucks Band and Marcus King. On sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Chris Stapleton's All-American Roadshow. New album, Higher, available now.
Vols fans having a good time right now for good reason. Tennessee adding 3 runs in the top of the 8th inning. The lead has grown to 4. 6-2. Vols on top. As we go to the bottom of the 8th inning, Texas Tech down his final 6 outs, trailing by 4 against a good Vols bullpen. Been really good over the years. And so far the pen has been headlined by A.J. Causey. Came in relief of A.J. Russell, the starter, back in the 5th inning, and he has not given up any damage against Texas Tech.
2 AJs and 1 RJ today.
Yeah.
And both the games going. But to answer your statement that you just made about how good AJ Causey's been, he's basically made the 1 bad pitch to Pompey, and that's been about it. I mean, these guys have been good tonight. I mean, and Brand, a lot of this has to do with what they're doing in the recruiting at Tennessee, but I'll tell you what, a lot of it's got to do with Frank Anderson too. That guy is, when I tell you he's a Hall of Fame type coach, he is, and he truly is on the pitching side of it. He coaches hard. He expects a lot. He pushes his guys for a lot, and you're seeing some of the answers that he pushes for.
Gage Harrelson leading off the 8th inning here for Texas Tech. Talked up Tennessee quite a bit and the run they've had in recent years. You look at the job Tim Tadlock has done. Texas Tech has been to the College World Series 4 times since 2014. One of just 6 programs in the country that has done that. And he's guided this Red Raider team to 5 seasons of 45 wins or more.
How impressive is that? I told you early in the game. Now he's won everywhere he's been. I mean, he was an assistant coach. He won. He's won national titles in junior college at Grayson, where he basically built a program and went and won national championships. A guy we talked about earlier, he's a great baseball mind, and you get in a conversation with him, it's a solid baseball conversation. He doesn't try to reinvent the wheel. I mean, he's just a good old solid West Texas guy who loves baseball, and he's really talented at coaching young people. And I'm going to tell you one last thing about him. His players love playing for him. I can tell you that.
Swing and a miss. Harrelson down on strikes for the 3rd time tonight. And that is the 3rd strikeout, maybe the 4th for Causey. And yes, Causey gave up that 2-run triple to Pompey, but the runs were charged to Russell. Causey is in line for the win. Russell going 4 to 3rd. And if you recall, Russell, a magnificent start tonight for Tennessee, 10 strikeouts. And now the batter, Pompey, strike 1. At the time when Pompey hit that 2-run triple, it kind of felt like this game was turning. And then you go to the next half inning, Tennessee loads the bases, nobody out. Volunteers don't score, so again, you still felt like momentum was on Texas Tech's side, but now a 4-run lead here in the 8th inning for Tennessee. And Pompey slices that one to right, and that is a foul ball.
Well, that goes back to just you're playing with fire when you walk anybody, but you're really playing with a fire when you start walking, hitters like Tennessee and give them opportunities, and they'll steal the momentum back from you if you allow it. But all along, Causey was hanging in there and doing his part, keeping the Tech bats at bay.
Pompey goes around. He strikes out for the 2nd time. Back-to-back strikeouts for Causey. And 2 down to the 8th inning. Tennessee, power in the lineup, power arms as well. Last year, this pitching staff, 738 strikeouts. Only LSU and Wake Forest had more. That ball hit well to left field. Dreiling, though, has plenty of room. He'll make the catch as Lopez flies out to end the inning. A.J. Causey holding the fort down for Tennessee since coming in relief for the 5th inning. 6-2 Vols going into the 9th. It's been good to be the road team here in Arlington. The road team won the first 2 games, Nebraska and Oregon. Tennessee, the designated road team tonight, leading 6-2. All 3 road teams taking leads into the 9th inning. Tennessee looking to add to a 4-run lead. And coming up for the Volunteers, Moore, Peebles, and Amick. Heart of the order coming up for Tony Vitello's team. And again, some timely hitting tonight for the Vols. Really good pitching. A.J. Russell, A.J. Causey, the 2 pitchers for Tennessee, have held the Red Raiders to just 2 runs, and those 2 combining for 15 strikeouts. And Ty, you've been talking up Coach Frank Anderson, the pitching coach for Tennessee, the job that he has done. We're going through the strikeout numbers last year. The Vols also had the 2nd lowest team ERA in the country, behind only Wake Forest. 2nd lowest whip in the country, behind only the Demon Deacons. That is a base hit for Moore, his 2nd of the night, and he's on to lead off the 9th.
Well, he's got 2 hits that he's run that ball right back through the middle, Brant, staying on it. And really impressive with his swing tonight. He doesn't pull off balls, doesn't try to lift. Look at that. He's just going to stay in there and try to use the middle part of the field, and he does again for the 2nd time tonight.
Christian Moore, 2 hits in opening day, more than 100 in his first 2 years. And now Cannon Peebles. Just missed hitting a home run his last time up in the 7th. His low hit came in the 4th inning, came home to score. Off the home run hit by Amick, who waits on deck. A slicing foul.
You know, it's been impressive tonight for me with Tennessee and Tech as well. But really, you know, Tennessee, because they're up right now, they've done a good job of hitting the ball in the middle part of the field all night. And then you go back to the opposite field homer. I mean, it just kind of tells you, even again right there, the foul balls that are going on, they're that opposite approach, or middle approach, opposite approach, not, you know, getting out front, not jumping at the ball, hooking balls. And it's been impressive to watch these guys take it back. They see the ball a long time, foul off balls, stay in counts, and then they get pitches they can handle.
In the air to left. Long run, Bravo. He'll put on the brakes, losing his hat in the process. Headgear comes off, catch is made. 1 out here in the 9th inning. So 3 games in the books here today, at least closing in on ending this 3rd game, barring a big Texas Tech comeback. 3 games on the docket tomorrow. Starts with Baylor and Oregon. Middle game, Texas Tech against Nebraska. And the Volunteers will take on Oklahoma tomorrow night.
Speaking of long at bats, how about Oregon today? Fouling off balls, refusing to strike out. I mean, I was impressed with their approach today as well.
Amick fouls that one back for strike 1. We talked about the transfer portal, and sometimes you get to know a player because he played against you. Well, Amick, again, started Clemson last year, and the Tigers hosted Tennessee in a regional a year ago. So Amick faced off against his Tennessee team last year as he won an ACC title with Clemson a season ago. Named first team all conference, and now playing in his first year in the SEC.
Well, we were just informed by our producer Lucas Haskins that we're going to get to visit tomorrow with Kendall Rogers from D1 Baseball, and I'm anxious to talk to Kendall a little bit about, you know, they always do such a good job of keeping up with scores, stories, you know, what's going on in college baseball. I'd be curious now the amount of research and effort that are having to be put in on the portal side of college baseball now.
We talked to all the coaches this week about the portal, the impact it has had, and one of the common prevailing thoughts was what makes it really difficult is from a relationship building and player development standpoint.
Yeah, we all got into this business because we love coaching. We love to coach players, and part of being a good coach is building up your relationship with your players. And you still can. I mean, actually, you better do it even more so, because kids have the freedom to choose. If they want to move, they can. But it's almost become transactional at times, and you can't blame anybody. It's the way the game is in every sport, not just baseball.
That ball headed to right, and what a diving catch made! Green makes another play in this game. Wow, what a catch in the outfield, out number 2.
I tell you what, he makes a great break on this ball. He gets a good first step, explosive. We're going to get a chance to see this. This is, as you just mentioned, his third good play, his second really highlight play. Watch him break on this ball, crossover step, dive, and watch that thing in the glove. That's not an easy catch right there, and he made it look. Oh, he juggled a little bit at the end.
You know,
great catch.
When we talked to Tim Tadlock, the thing that he said that stood out about this team, it might be one of the more athletic he's ever coached in Lubbock. I saw that athleticism on display there from Green. This is a fly ball to left. Bravo being tested on the run. He'll make the catch, the warning track. And that will end the top of the 9th inning. So Parker works around the leadoff base hit from Moore. Texas Tech down to its final 3 outs, trailing by 4. We head to the bottom of the 9th inning. Red Raiders down to their final 3 outs, trailing 6-2. And A.J. Causey looking to finish the game. Came in relief of A.J. Russell in the 5th. It's been his game ever since. Facing Austin Green to lead off the bottom half of the inning. And Green, of course, made that great catch in right field at the top of the 9th inning. Green with a fly ball. Hit towards center field. Going to die out there. Ainsley will make the catch. 1 down.
I'll tell you, Causey's been impressive tonight on both sides of the plate. And even in a hot count right there, when he gets behind 2-0, he runs that little 2-seamer. Lets that thing just kind of run away from the barrel where they can't make great contact on it. And gets out number 1 here in the 9th. I think if he'd have walked him, I think you would see the bullpen speed up. There's somebody already throwing, but I think you'd have seen it speed up a little bit more.
Now Kevin Bazell at the first hit of the night for Texas Tech has since struck out twice. One of those strikeouts coming against Causey back in the 6th inning. Be sure to stay tuned After the final out is recorded, we're going to visit with tonight's play of the game. That's in there at the knees. Change up at 88. 0-2.
I said, ball's got good movement to it. The pitch before, what they like to do, what he likes to do with these right-handed hitters, likes to throw the ball in at the beginning of the count and try to trap that barrel where they beat that ball down into the ground. And then you see then when he get expanded with 2 strikes, and they'll try to go ahead and run that thing back in there again.
On the outside corner, got him looking. Bazell down on strikes for the 3rd time. And the Red Raiders down to their final out. Talked about tomorrow. Here's what's on deck from the Shriners Children's College Showdown. Bears, Ducks, Red Raiders, Cornhuskers, Sooners, Volunteers. And by the way, the nightcap will be a preview of a future conference game. Oklahoma this time next year will be in the SEC with Tennessee. Got Tech and Nebraska revisiting an old Big 12 rivalry. Strike 1 to Gavin Cash. Cash, preseason first team, all Big 12. Kind of a quiet night tonight. Has struck out twice and falls behind 0-2. And Texas Tech now down to its final strike.
Well, you said it right. Gavin Cash is a good-looking hitter, and he's going to hit. I mean, it sounds different when he comes off his bat, but tonight Tennessee's pitchers have just been so good.
Right on cue, Mr. Harrington Causey, another strikeout, retires the Red Raiders in order in the 9th inning, and Tennessee starts off 2024 1-0 with a 6-2 win over 21st-ranked Texas Tech. A.J. Russell, A.J. Causey. Big tonight for Tony Vitello's team.
Pitching was the answer to it. I mean, you can't draw it up in the hotel room as coaches before you get here, just like they did tonight, even though you hope that it's going to go like that, but they surely made it that way. And that was an impressive pitching performance against a really good Texas Tech offense as well.
A.J. Causey pitches the final 4 2/3 for Tennessee. It only took him 56 pitches to get through that. 7 strikeouts, so he and Russell combined for 17 punch-outs, only 1 walk, and just the 2 runs given up.
That's a lot of strikeouts. I mean, that's the power arms, explosive fastballs, breaker command. I mean, command of their emotions. You kind of look like maybe, Tech was going to get some momentum, and they get back in their motions and make quality pitches when they had to make them.
But of course, Tennessee getting some big bats at the plate as well. From Billy Amick, tonight's player of the game. Here's Leanza Peroni with him now.
Tennessee gets a big 6-2 win over a great Texas Tech team. Billy, first home run, first win in a Tennessee uniform. What does this night and this experience here at Globe Life mean to you?
Yeah, no, we're great to be here. It's a beautiful stadium. Fans showed up. Really excited, and yeah, we're just ready to keep going.
A.J. Russell, A.J. Causey were throwing the heat tonight. Russell had 10 strikeouts. Talk about the athletes that they are and how great it is to have them on your team.
Yeah, you're very happy to be on their side, I'll promise you that. But yeah, no, they did great. It was a pleasure to play behind them, so I'm looking forward to that the rest of the season.
Good luck this weekend.
All right, thank you, Leanza. Billy Amick again tonight's player of the game for Tennessee, going 2 for 4 with a 2-run homer and a couple of runs scored. Ty, this is a great opening day to this college baseball tournament and this new college baseball season.
I was excited when I got here. I'm still excited when I'm going to leave here tonight, particularly after watching the 3 games we got to watch today and be a part of, because tomorrow is going to be a repeat with great baseball again.
So for Ty Harrington and our entire Flow Sports production team, I'm Brain Freeman. This has been a presentation of Rev Entertainment and Flow Sports. The final score in this one, Tennessee 6, Texas Tech 2.